Chapter 1966. Yi Shan realized that many people cared about his title. They were curious about what his title was. They cared more about it than he did himself. Captain, it's the Black Lotus of Destruction. Since the Black Lotus of Destruction has appeared, the corresponding title must be extremely domineering. Many people also say that you are the human emperor of Samsara, White Meng Meng said. I almost died in there last time, and I didn't complete the certification. What's the point of a title? Let's talk about it later. Night Sorrow said helplessly. Then they returned to the encampment of the First Army. Captain, can you watch your battle memory crystal ball now? Bai Xiaoyu asked anxiously when they arrived at the encampment. Is it meaningful to watch the battle of the Imperial level? If I remember correctly, you are still in the reserve team, right? Night Sorrow looked at Bai Xiaoyu. We are almost the same now, but it doesn't make sense for us to be in the reserve team all the time. Thinking of this, Bai Xiaoyu was conflicted. Not only was Bai Xiaoyu conflicted, but the 30 people in the reserve team were also conflicted. They were no different from an official team now, but they were still a reserve team. They couldn't remove the title. It was useless for Bai Xiaoyu and the others to turn to Zhuodong and the Patriarch of the 100 Tribes because Night Sorrow was the leader of the First Army. That was to say, if Night Sorrow didn't say anything, they would either leave or stay in the reserve team. Zhuodong, can they do it? Night Sorrow looked at Zhuodong and asked. They can do it, but it's annoying that they keep complaining about it, Zhuodong said. They can't do it without a good attitude. By the way, which territory did you fight for the territory last time? Night Sorrow asked. The 8th Army. Zhuodong didn't understand why Night Sorrow asked this. He had just told him that Long Jin and Tianyu had gotten back their territory. If you don't want to be a reserve team, fine. Put the flag of the First Army in the 8th Army's martial arts practice field for 4 hours and you will be an official member. Otherwise, don't talk nonsense. Come to me when you do it. Zhuodong, follow them and make sure they don't get killed, Night Sorrow said and left the First Army. The captain is still very concerned about you guys. He's afraid that you guys will be beaten to death and turned into sh*t, Bai Lingling and the others said with a smile as they looked at the 30 members of the reserve team. It's really troublesome to lead a group of reserve members. I'm your team leader. Let me know when you plan to attack and occupy the 8th Army. Tiger Cold shook his head. What time? Do you dare to go now? Bai Xiaoyu looked at the 30 over people beside him and shouted. The reserve members were very angry. They were not happy to be called reserve members for 700 years. They roared, and the 30 of them rushed towards the 8th Army. The other sergeants of the First Army followed behind because they couldn't really ignore it. Seeing the sergeants of the First Army rushing over, the sergeants of the 8th Army quickly gathered. Most quickly on under the didn't you fight once? Are you not done yet? The captain of the 8th Army said angrily. He regretted that he had provoked the First Army. I don't want to waste time talking to you. Brothers, we have to fight to get rid of the title of reserve members today. Are you ready? If you are, I'll put the flag. Bai Xiaoyu shouted to the reserve members. Let's fight. The 30 reserve members of the First Army shouted at the same time. Bai Xiaoyu put the flag of the First Army in the middle of the encampment of the 8th Army. That's right, it was in the middle. Then the 30 reserve members were divided into 3 teams. The first team will guard the flag. The second and the third team will fight. As long as you're alive, the flag of the First Army will not fall, Tiger Cold ordered. It was a battle of honor. The sergeants of the 8th Army wanted to keep their honor. If the flag of the First Army was put here, it would be a slap to the 8th Army's face. The reserve team of the First Army was also fighting for honor. They wanted to become real sergeants of the First Army. The battle was fierce. Both sides were fighting for real. Blood was flying around the flag, but they still restrained themselves. They tried to injure each other seriously instead of killing each other. We can't stand it if it goes on like this. They outnumber us. Flower Without Words said. But it's the captain's order. We can't fight unless they retreat and the 8th Army attacks us again, Zhuodong said. Let's inform the captain. These guys won't retreat. They'll get killed if it goes on like this, Bai Lingling said. No need. The captain must know about it. He'll come when it's time. Zhuodong shook his head. The battle was still going on. The ground was dyed red by the blood. Neither side retreated. The 30 reserve members of the First Army had changed their roles twice. They changed their roles to defend and attack. However, the greater the number difference, the greater the consumption. After an hour, more than half of the reserve team of the First Army had lost their fighting capacity. Only a few of them managed to hold on. They were badly beaten. At this time, Night Sorrow came. He looked at Zhuodong and the others and said, "This is not only a test for them, but also for you. If they can hold on for an hour, I'll consider them qualified. What about you? You won't abandon them or give up them. Brothers, let's fight. Crush them." Zhuodong shouted and rushed out. The other 10 squads of the First Army also moved. The past hour was really a torture for them. But they didn't join the battle because of Night Sorrow's order and the insistence of the reserve team. Now that Night Sorrow had given his order, they would certainly not stand by and watch. A single reserve team could hold on for an hour. Although they had paid a great price, the sergeants of the First Army could completely crush the 8th Army now. Everyone stop. A man in silver armor appeared. Night Sorrow waved his hand and stopped the attack. "I'm Chen Lu, the commander of the 8th Army, the 9th Army, and the 10th Army. It's not good to keep fighting like this. We can solve the problem." Chen Lu cupped one hand in the other before his chest and said to Night Sorrow, "I asked them to put the flag of the First Army here for 4 hours. The 8th Army went to the encampment of the First Army and planned to occupy it. You have to pay the price for what you did. This is the rule." Night Sorrow glanced at Chen Lu and said, "Okay, sergeants of the 8th Army, step back." Chen Lu didn't say anything else. He just waved his hand and asked the embarrassed sergeants of the 8th Army to step back. After all the sergeants of the First Army joined the battle, the 8th Army couldn't stop them. Being injured is an excuse for you to show your teeth? Stand still and look at the flag. If the flag falls down, go back to where you came from. And you, why are you standing still and watching your brothers fight? All of you, stand up straight and think carefully. Yi Shang helped the injured by Xiaoyu and the others up before turning to leave. The sergeants of the First Army and the sergeants of the 8th Army looked at each other, but they didn't attack again. The sergeants of the 8th Army were furious and knew that the First Army would leave if they stayed any longer. What a bunch of unlucky bastards. If we follow you, we will also be unlucky. Long Jin muttered because he still wanted to drink with Night Sorrow. Chapter 1967. After 4 hours, Zhuodong stood out and looked at the soldiers of the First Army. "Take the flag and return to camp." "Soldiers of the 8th Army, I'm sorry. If you want to fight back, the First Army is always ready." After the soldiers of the First Army left, Chen Lu started to scold them because he was very angry. This was very embarrassing. Not only did the 8th Army lose face, but he also lost face. "Commander, you have 3 armies under you. You can take that Night Sorrow and we can beat them." A soldier of the 8th Army said, "You still don't understand the situation." Chen Lu slapped the soldier. "That Night Sorrow is now infinitely close to peak Emperor rank. His actual fighting strength is even stronger. If you want to fight, go ahead." After Chen Lu left, the soldiers of the 8th Army also left because they knew they couldn't fight back. Even their commander wasn't a match for the captain. How could they fight? Long Jin and Tianyu followed the soldiers of the First Army back to camp and reminded everyone to be on guard. Then, they went to Night Sorrow's residence to drink with him. Night Sorrow's return immediately brought them excitement. The two of them were very happy. Those 30 people are not bad. Not to mention their strength, their courage and perseverance are not bad. After inviting Long Jin and Tianyu to sit down, Night Sorrow said, "They just lack an identity. In other aspects, they aren't worse than the other teams." Long Jin nodded. "Alliance Master, what do you plan to do next?" Pu Luo took a sip of wine and asked, "I will first solve the issue of the title and then cultivate in the Nirvana Ocean. You guys observe the situation in the celestial realm. Before Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons appear, there will be traces. They can't find Star Moon City so quickly. Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and told them his plan. Okay, our humanitarian league forces will pay attention to this. We will surround the area around Star Moon Lake. If there is any movement, we will know immediately. It won't be easy for them to sneak in. Lin Piaomiao nodded. Unless she doesn't come out and we catch her, we will kill her. Pu Luo said. Let's drink. 700 years of suffering feels like 70,000 years to me. Knight Sorrow said. The pain and helplessness in the dark space had tortured him for too long. After drinking and resting, Yishang left the mansion and stood on the city wall of Heavenly Desolate City, looking at Heavenly Desolate. What are you thinking? Lu Qi appeared beside Knight Sorrow. That's our celestial realm. Heaven Wasteland, Knight sighed. Lu Qi thought for a moment before saying, It seems that your experience has affected you somewhat. The Black Lotus of Destruction comes from the Heaven Wasteland domain. What right does the origin of the Heaven Wasteland domain have to kill the people of the Heaven domain? This in itself is contempt. Do you think you can dominate the world? Yishang's eyes flashed in the dark night. We celestial realm beings have been fighting for several reincarnations. We never admit defeat. If outsiders want to occupy the celestial realm, then we have the courage to fight to the end. Don't have a bad impression of the celestial realm because of the black dragons and the flying serpents. Other than these two, the other races are all fighting. Lu Qi said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was aware of these things. After chatting with Lu Qi for a while, Knight Sorrow returned to the residence to rest for the night. At dawn, Knight Sorrow changed into a clean robe and went to the Heaven Wasteland Tower. He was here to see the celestial realm's origin and to get a title. He had to go all the way. Knight Sorrow had never given up halfway. He had never done so before and would never do so in the future. Knight Sorrow arrived. When the guards didn't know whether to stop him or not, a beam of energy appeared and wrapped Knight Sorrow into the Heaven Wasteland Tower. The Lord of the Heaven Wasteland City, who was about to come out to receive Knight Sorrow, was stunned for a moment. He knew that the celestial realm's origin had brought Knight Sorrow into the Heaven Wasteland Tower. In the Heaven Wasteland Tower, Knight Sorrow saw a man. His aura was much stronger than that of the origin of the world of reincarnation, the Black-Yellow world, and the Shenwu world, but he seemed to be in his twilight years. You should know who I am. Are you going to continue to get a title? The origin of the celestial realm pointed at the golden futon in the space. Yes, I can't give up halfway. Knight Sorrow nodded. Aren't you afraid of another change? The origin of the celestial realm sized up Knight Sorrow with eyes that could see through everything. But there are some things that I have to do. Knight Sorrow sat on the futon. Let's talk first. There are some problems in the celestial realm that need to be solved, and the opportunity to solve them lies with you. The origin of the celestial realm flicked his robe and sat down. First tick then, the origin of the celestial realm didn't care about Knight Sorrow's answer and told Knight Sorrow some things. The celestial realm had existed for too long and had gone through many reincarnations. Every reincarnation would have a tribulation, and it was the same for countless reincarnations. In the previous reincarnations of the celestial realm, there were human sovereigns, but because the celestial realm was in its twilight years, it didn't have enough luck to produce human sovereigns. They were all sunset sons. Knight Sorrow wasn't born in the celestial realm, but in the new 9 domains world, so he was different from the previous human sovereigns. He was the rising sun. Because the celestial realm was large and had a strong spatial barrier, it was no longer in danger of being destroyed, but the origin of the world had a tribulation. The last reincarnation was actually the tribulation of the celestial realm's origin. Because some opportunities to deal with the tribulation didn't appear, he persisted until this reincarnation. What can I do? Knight Sorrow didn't answer. Don't worry, listen to me. Supreme worlds like the deserted world and the celestial realm have a lifespan of 1,000 reincarnations. The deserted world is the Heaven Wasteland world that you speak of. The birth of a supreme world is accompanied by the fall of a supreme world. Although the supreme world won't be destroyed, the origin will fall. After the fall of the deserted world's origin, I will be promoted to the supreme origin level. After I fall, the next supreme world will be born, and the next supreme world will be the Nine Domains world. Do you understand? The origin of the celestial realm looked at Night Sorrow and threw out shocking news. That's not right. The deserted world's origin has fallen. How can it still be so strong? How can there be demon wings race? Night Sorrow asked. He knew that a world without an origin was not suitable for cultivation. After the fall of the deserted world's origin, evil chi of heaven and earth origin entered the deserted world. That's why the deserted world became what it is now. For example, after I disappear, the celestial realm won't be destroyed. It's possible that evil chi of heaven and earth origin will enter, the origin of the celestial realm said. Chapter 1968. I appreciate your honesty. The rise of the Nine Zones world is unstoppable. You don't have to worry about that. If I wanted to do something, would the Nine Regions' origins have returned with you unscathed the last time you were injured? What I'm worried about is that there's already an evil deserted world. If an evil celestial realm appears in the future, the Nine Zones world will be in for a lot of trouble. The celestial realm origin looked at Night Sorrow and shook its head. What do you need me to do? Night Sorrow asked. If you're still alive when this reincarnation cycle ends, bring the Nine Zones world origin to the celestial realm and guard it for a while. My original body will reincarnate. If my original body returns, the celestial realm will still be the celestial realm. But don't worry, my original body after reincarnating will be very weak. I won't be able to stop the rise of the Nine Zones world. In return, I'll protect your chaotic realm and the other three worlds from being destroyed during this reincarnation cycle, the celestial realm origin said. Night Sorrow, promise you that. Night Sorrow agreed quickly because the Nine Zones origin had communicated with him. That's enough. I checked your body last time, but I'm not done yet. I'll have to do it again. After the celestial realm origin finished speaking, the futon emitted a golden light again. The golden light seeped into Night Sorrow's body. Night Sorrow didn't stop it. The energy in his body operated on its own. After a while, the golden light that had checked Night Sorrow's body disappeared. Everything returned to normal. I'm ready. I can proceed to the next step. Night Sorrow said. There's no next step because it's meaningless. I've checked your situation. Your immortality potential is confirmed. Your reincarnation attribute is confirmed. Your origin is confirmed. Your human sovereign is confirmed. Next, there are several titles for you to choose from. Immortal Human Sovereign, Reincarnation Human Sovereign, and Origin Human Sovereign. In fact, you can choose any title you want, but you have the origin of other worlds in your body. It's better to be close to your previous title, the Celestial Realm origin said. My previous title was Immortal. As for Human Sovereign, forget it. I'll just do my own thing. It doesn't matter if I'm a human sovereign or not. I can't be too ostentatious, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Okay, then you'll be immortal. If you can survive the godly tribulation, you'll be a real divine sovereign. As the Celestial Realm origin, the words, Divine Immortal Human Sovereign. All the members of the Heavenly Wasteland City were watching. More A, new caret Y fastest equals faster U, up D. Pu Luo, what does this title mean? Ruiz put his hand on Pu Luo's shoulder and asked. Only after surviving the godly tribulation can one be immortal and called a god. The title of Divine Sovereign means that the leader has the potential to survive the godly tribulation and has the chance to reach the level that no one has ever reached, Pu Luo said. Universe Master, the title of Divine Sovereign is too ostentatious. Let's not use it. When I go out, people will look at me strangely. Night Sorrow naturally noticed the 4 words in the sky. This is my decision, and it's also in line with the way of heaven. If you don't want to be ostentatious, then enter the body first and then enter the body later. It's up to you how to explain it when you go out. The Celestial Realm origin closed its eyes. At this time, 2 of the 4 words in the sky jumped into the Heaven Wasteland Tower. It was Divine Sovereign. After a while, the 2 words, Immortal Human Sovereign, jumped again and entered the Heaven Wasteland Tower. Why not Human Sovereign? Grand Elder, who had also arrived outside the Heaven Wasteland Tower, looked at the city master and asked. Human sovereign doesn't need a title to prove it. Night Sorrow is a person who doesn't like to be ostentatious. He has many choices of titles, so he chose the one that suits him best. I guess he didn't want to accept the title of Divine Sovereign, so he took it back first, the city master said. Night Sorrow felt the mark of the origin of the world in his body. He cupped his hands at the origin of the celestial realm, then pushed open the door of the authentication space and walked out. Congratulations on obtaining an unprecedented title. Grand Elder's face was full of smiles. He was very happy because Night Sorrow was the future of the human tribe. It was no secret that Night Sorrow was the deluxe merit emperor. So as long as Night Sorrow grew, the rise of the human tribe and the 100 Tribes Alliance would not be a problem. They would not be at a disadvantage against the Heaven Wasteland Demon Winged clan. I was just lucky to be recognized by the origin of the celestial realm as having some potential, Night Sorrow said with a smile. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow left. It was just an authentication, so he didn't really care. Whether it was good or not was not decided by others. He had to do it himself. Pu Luo, Great Demon King, Lin Piamiao, and the others were very happy because Immortal was a title that had never been given before. In the celestial realm, there were all kinds of emperors, martial emperors, battle emperors, fist emperors, and blade emperors. However, no one had ever been given a title that included God. Back in the mansion, Night Sorrow and the others made tea and chatted about Night Sorrow's authentication. Of course, there were some things that Night Sorrow did not mention, because it would cause unnecessary disturbances. I don't understand. You're the Deluxe Merit Emperor, which is the same as the previous human sovereign. Why aren't you the human sovereign? Yu Zhu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I didn't ask for it. So what if I'm the human sovereign? It's enough to do my own thing. It's not good to spread rumors. Keep a low profile and do things in a high-profile way, Night Sorrow explained. So you didn't ask for it. However, the human sovereign is undeniable. I understand. Yu Zhu nodded. Then why did the title of Divine Sovereign go back first? Reese also had a lot of questions. I also felt that it was too ostentatious, so I wanted to cancel it. However, the origin of the celestial realm cooperated with me to take back the title. Night Sorrow smiled. It was not important, so there was nothing that he couldn't say. The city lord, King Yowu, the great elder, and Lu Qi also had a lot of questions to ask when they arrived at the city lord's cultivation space. When they entered the space, before they could even talk, the Heaven Realm's origin body appeared. Greetings, Universe Master. The mayor and the others bowed to the origin of the celestial realm. I'm here today to tell you something. Night Sorrow's title should have had the title of Human Sovereign, but he didn't want it because he didn't want to be ostentatious. In addition, his body contains 2 forbidden attributes. You know what that means. You were born in the celestial realm. Because the fate of the celestial realm is not clear, your luck is not good. However, Night Sorrow is different. He comes from a new world. He's the rising sun and the hope of the future. As for the future of the celestial realm, it's not important to Night Sorrow. If the celestial realm can't handle it, he'll return to his world and be the supreme realm master. You're the ones who will be stunned, the origin of the celestial realm said. If the celestial realm is gone, then how can the realm of chaos be stable? Lu Qi asked, confused. Don't interrupt. The 9 Realms world is the prototype of the supreme realm. The origin of the celestial realm glared at Lu Qi. Chapter 1969. Lu Qi didn't say anything. He couldn't offend the dignity of the celestial realm's origin. In other words, even if all the worlds are destroyed and fallen, the 9 realms are still stable. So he's not fighting for himself, but for the human race and the 100 races. As for the title of Human Emperor, you know that he doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about the title of Divine Emperor either. He's the best at being selfless, the celestial realm's origin said. That means that the celestial realm owes him, King Yowu said. You all know what to do. We've reached a consensus, but a consensus is still a consensus. It's easy to change. Some of the pests of the celestial realm can't be protected. He can kill them if he wants, but we can't make him unhappy, the celestial realm's origin said and left. The city lord and the others looked at each other. Some things were beyond their understanding. What did the celestial realm's origin mean? It meant that Night Sorrow couldn't be offended. If something happened in the celestial realm, Night Sorrow could just leave. The unlucky ones were the local cultivators of the celestial realm who couldn't leave. In the end, it made it clear that Night Sorrow could kill whoever he wanted, and there was no need to protect or make Night Sorrow unhappy. This guy doesn't even want the title of Human Emperor. What does he want? Lu Qi said with some hesitation. He's the deluxe merit emperor. He's always been a righteous man. So, the fame that others can only dream of is a shackle to him, the city lord said. I've seen many cultivators in the past. The human race, the 100 races, and even the demon-winged clan, I don't think anyone is more difficult to deal with than him. The Grand Elder shook his head. Not really. Night Sorrow has a good heart. Treating him with sincerity is the best way. Maybe he knows some things better than we do. He's the Realm Lord, and the Realm Lord of the embryonic form of the sovereign world. So, don't scheme. Just do what needs to be done, King Youwu said. Youwu, you're right. We need to be more sincere. However, apart from the banishment last time, we didn't do anything to upset him. The mayor smiled. Night Sorrow's mansion. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow stood up. Next, his body trembled and a doppelganger appeared. When the celestial realm's origin investigated Night Sorrow's body, some of the energy was absorbed by Night Sorrow's doppelganger. The doppelganger recovered for a while and was fine. This is good. While the main body cultivates, the clone can also handle some matters. Night Sorrow was very happy. With the Avatar awakening, it could be said that the negative damage caused by the Black Lotus of Destruction had completely disappeared, leaving only benefits. Night Sorrow's doppelganger had awakened. The other members of the Humanitarian League were also very happy. What did a doppelganger mean? It meant one more life. During a battle, the existence of a clone could avoid many risks, even the risk of death. Of course, the Emperor's Tribulation and Emperor's Tribulation could only be withstood by the true body. Very good. Now, the Black Lotus of Destruction's influence on you is completely gone, Pu Luo said with a smile. Night Sorrow, after waking up, your wives are still as beautiful as flowers. They're all the undying king and your son has become an emperor. How does it feel? Yu Zhu asked with a smile. It's indescribable. You guys don't understand a life without memories. I know it's home, I know it's my wife, but I still feel that something is wrong, Night Sorrow said. Without experiencing it, you have no right to speak. Fortunately, you've recovered everything, the Great Demon King said. Then, Night Sorrow told everyone his decision. His main body would cultivate in Tianhuang City while his doppelganger would go to the Ethereal Dynasty. In the future, the focus of our Humanitarian League will be on the Ethereal Dynasty. It will become another center of chaos outside of Tianhuang City, the Great Demon King said. The Great Demon King is right. The entrance to the Nine Zones world is in the Ethereal Dynasty. The Nine Zones world is a key point in the battle between Tianhuang and the Celestial Realm. In addition, Mo Tianji's main body is in the Nine Zones world. Attacking the Nine Zones world should be one of the Demon Wing's main plans, Night Sorrow analyzed after the Great Demon King's words. Then it settled. Your Night Moon Villa will be our stronghold. Also, Night Moon Villa can't be the same teleportation formation from Night Moon Villa to Night Moon City. This way, even if the teleportation formation is destroyed by a sneak attack, we can fight at any time and won't be caught off guard, Pu Luo said. Okay, I'll take care of it. Later, I'll invite you to my house to be my guests. I'll show you a different culture, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Finally, I've been waiting for your invitation. It's not easy, Yu Zhu said happily. Many people knew about the Nine Zones world, not to mention the few people from the Humanitarian League. However, it was difficult to go to the Nine Zones world. Unless Night Sorrow invited or agreed to it, no one could go. Currently, the only people from the Celestial Realm who could go were those from the Ethereal Dynasty. How should I put it? It's not that I don't trust anyone, but I can't gamble with the lives of the Nine Zones world. If an expert with evil intentions goes there, I won't be able to defeat him. The Nine Zones world will fall. It's too big of a deal, Night Sorrow said. So you're saying that if we go to the Nine Zones world to cause trouble, you'll be able to deal with us? Funtion asked. Let's not talk about the celestial realm. In the Nine Zones world, I'm the realm master. I can use the origin of the Nine Zones world and control the energy of the Nine Zones world. You know what I mean, Night Sorrow said with a smile. In the past, you didn't allow anyone to go. In the future, if you want someone to go, they have to be brave enough to go. If you don't like them, you'll kill them. You're the boss of your territory. Juju said. So, are you going? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Of course, why wouldn't I go? You're the virtuous monarch. We'll be afraid of anyone but you. Yuju glanced at Night Sorrow. The virtuous monarch was blessed by the heavenly law. It was also a guarantee to others because the virtuous monarch wouldn't do anything that went against his morals. Then, let's go and see the legendary Nine Zones world. The great demon king stood up. He was also interested. He had a realm under his command. He was the realm master, but he wasn't the realm master. After the few of them stood up, they went to the teleportation array and started the teleportation. However, it was Night Sorrow's doppelganger that led them. His original body stayed behind to cultivate. After arriving at the Ethereal Empire's Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow set up another teleportation array. The teleportation array was connected to the teleportation array in the Ethereal Empire's Imperial City and then to Star Moon City. The new teleportation array was hidden. It was a backup strategic teleportation array. Alliance Master, I thought of something else. According to what you said, you're almost invincible in the Nine Zones world. Then, you can relax the defense of Star Moon City and let them enter the Nine Zones world. Then you can lock them in and beat them up. How safe would that be? Juju said. I've thought about what you said, but I have a different idea. Night Sorrow shook his head. Chapter 1970. Night Sorrow then expressed his thoughts. Night Sorrow wanted to conquer the celestial realm and lead the nine-domain world to develop. Therefore, the living beings of the nine-domain world had no obligation to take risks with him, let alone bear the flames of war. Night Sorrow didn't want the nine-domain world to bear any war. Understood. We can understand your thoughts. The nine-domain world is your root. Naturally, you can't let others invade it so easily. We will fight with the demon-winged clan in Star Moon City. Of course, the prerequisite is that they dare to come, Puluo said. After listening to Night Sorrow's explanation, not only Puluo, but everyone else could understand. Night Sorrow then led the group to the Twilight Tea House for tea. This was a must for everyone in the Ethereal Dynasty. The Twilight Tea House was very famous. Many cultivators far away from the Ethereal Dynasty would come to the Twilight Tea House at least once. It could be said that the Twilight Tea House was a signature of the celestial realm. It was the pinnacle of the tea ceremony. I love tea. I haven't paid the bill yet. Come, bring me good tea and snacks. The great demon king shouted after entering the Twilight Tea House. It was inappropriate, but this was the great demon king's character. How tasteless! Shame on you. A cold snort came from a private room. The great demon king was stunned. He didn't say anything and followed Night Sorrow and the others into the admiring moon pavilion. How could he say anything? That voice belonged to the Grand Elder. The great demon king didn't have to give any face to the other elders, including the law enforcement elders. However, he had to give face to the Grand Elder. Don't say that you love tea and don't pay the bill. If you walk too much at night, you will meet ghosts, Ruiz said after sitting down. You said it well. The Grand Elder's voice came again. Ruiz was dumbfounded. After hearing the Grand Elder's words, he realized how inappropriate his words were. Meet ghosts? Who was the ghost? Alliance Master, bring some refreshments. I'll go apologize. Reese wanted to slap his own mouth. He couldn't control his mouth, and at such a critical moment, he blurted out everything. Night Sorrow nodded. Then he asked for tea and refreshments to be served. He then led the group to the private room where the Grand Elder was. Night Sorrow put down the refreshments and nodded at the Grand Elder and King Yowu. This time, it was the Grand Elder and King Yowu. The tea here is indeed very good. There is no other tea shop in the celestial realm. The signboard at the door is well deserved. King Yowu looked at the bright moon in the sky and nodded. What he meant was that the celestial realm was full of bright moons. Only the twilight moon was different. If Uncle Master likes it, you can come here anytime. It's also convenient to have a teleportation array, Night Sorrow said. Is it convenient? I don't think so. The two of us had to wait in line for half a day, and in the end, we had to use spirit stones to exchange numbers with the people in front of us to get a seat. It's not like you bandits entering the village. The Great Elder glanced at the Great Demon Lord and Ruisi. Grand Elder, don't be angry. I have a VIP card. I'll give it to the Grand Elder. Ruiz quickly took out his VIP card and handed it to the Grand Elder. He had the potential to be a bootlicker. At least you understand. I won't argue with you. After the Grand Elder took the VIP card, he glanced at Night Sorrow again. Uncle Master, this is yours. Night Sorrow pushed a VIP card to King Yowu. Uncle Master, take it. I have a good nephew. I don't need to learn from others to blackmail him. King Yowu glanced at the Grand Elder and took the VIP card. Yowu, you're wrong. He respects me. Is there a problem with giving him a VIP card? Okay, you guys go and drink your tea. The Grand Elder began to drive them away. Night Sorrow and the others quickly left. At this time, the Grand Elder did not want to see them. What's wrong today? You talk too fast. Ruiz was still a little depressed. And %CIJ version 6 of GJ version? Ha! In a while, I'll ask Sworn Brother for a few more VIP cards. Yishan smiled. After they drank tea, Night Sorrow took a few more VIP cards from Chinchin before leaving the Twilight Tea House. Night Sorrow took them to the teleportation array to Xingyue City. They checked the defense, communicated with Lu Qi, and then went to the 9 Domains world. Phew! The air is so fresh. After exiting the teleportation array, Pu Luo exhaled and said, This is my hometown. How does it feel? Does it not feel oppressive? Night Sorrow looked at them and said with a smile, It feels like a new life. It's very clear. The celestial realm can't compare. Yu Zhu looked very excited. Then you guys go around and come back here tomorrow at this time. Also, don't cause trouble. Night Sorrow added seriously, Don't worry. If someone spits on my face, I won't even wipe it. It will dry naturally. After saying that, Ruiz ran away. He's a little silly. There's a teleportation array here. Yu Zhu smiled and went on the teleportation array. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao took the teleportation array to the city in the sky. Night Sorrow stayed in Tianhuang City and thought for a while. He went to the base of the First Army to see Long Jin and Tianyu. He planned to take care of some things before he went into seclusion. Captain, you didn't leave with the Humanitarian League? Long Jin asked. I plan to go to the Nirvana Ocean to cultivate later. If I can improve, my strength will increase. But before that, there are some things I need to take care of. Night Sorrow said. 13th brother, just say the word and we'll take care of it. There's no need to delay your cultivation. Tianyu said. Your matter? I've been sleeping here for 700 years. Have you made any progress? Night Sorrow asked. It's good. I went back to the 9 Domain world and saw her a few times, but I didn't say much. I was a little embarrassed. Tianyu said embarrassedly. I can only go into seclusion after this matter is taken care of. Night Sorrow said. 13th brother, help me ask around. If it's okay, I'll go and ask for her hand in marriage. Tianyu hesitated and said. I have to hand it to you. Alright, I'll help you ask around. Night Sorrow nodded. He had to pay attention to Tianyu's matter. Night Sorrow's clone returned to Sky City and went to see his parents. After asking around, he went to Night Moon City. He wanted to see Yin Yanxiao, the current ruler of the Night Moon dynasty. The person Tianyu was thinking about was Yin Yanxiao. This was something that Night Sorrow had analyzed a long time ago. Tianyu liked her and they were familiar with each other. Only Yi Nianxiao and Yi Mei fit the bill. If it was Yi Mei, Tianyu wouldn't be so conflicted. He would have done what he needed to do. Therefore, the only one left was Yi Nianxiao. She was also the person who wouldn't be suitable for the child to call him godfather in the future. In the palace on night moon, Night Sorrow saw Yi Nianxiao, who was holding her chin and thinking about something. Nianxiao, what are you thinking about? What if an enemy comes? Night Sorrow greeted her. Brother, why would an enemy come to the palace on night moon? Yi Nianxiao was pleasantly surprised to see Night Sorrow. She quickly walked over and grabbed Night Sorrow's arm. Chapter 1971. Nianxiao, look at you. The Empress of Night Moon is still acting like a child. Night Sorrow pinched his sister's nose. In front of Big Brother, I'll always be a child. If anyone bullies me, I'll look for Big Brother. Yi Nianxiao pulled Night Sorrow over to the throne of the Night Moon dynasty and massaged his shoulders. In the past, the Yi clan had always been known as the Night Moon dynasty. But a long time ago, both the Nine Regions world and the Primal Chaos realm called it the Night Moon dynasty. If Night Moon didn't have the qualifications to be called a dynasty, then no power in the Primal Chaos realm had the qualifications to be called a dynasty. If you can leave the matters here to others, then leave them to others. If you have nothing to do, go home more often. Who would dare to cause trouble? Night Sorrow smiled. I know. No matter who you give the Night Moon dynasty to, no one would dare to take it. I just don't want to go home and have to report to everyone. I can't bring the matters outside home, said Yi Nianxiao. Night Sorrow turned to his sister and asked, You're right. I came here today because of some matters. I've been sleeping for 700 years, and the family has always been very oppressive. Shouldn't there be some good news to change things? Big Brother, don't tell me you've taken a fancy to some girl after waking up? That won't do. That would be letting down my sisters-in-law, said Yi Nianxiao somewhat anxiously. Little girl, what are you thinking about? I'm talking about you. What's going on between you and Tianyu? If you don't give him an answer, he won't be able to ask for your hand in marriage, said Night Sorrow directly. Big Brother, you know? But that stupid bird didn't ask. What should I say? It's not like the girls of our Yi clan can't get married. Yi Nianxiao's face reddened. Stupid bird, you're right. He asked Big Brother to ask. Now that Big Brother understands, there's no need to ask. But Big Brother can't bear to see you marry off to the Azure Pring race. If you suffer, Big Brother won't know, said Night Sorrow. Big Brother, Tianyu won't do that. We should know him. He's very responsible. Yin Yen smiled and spoke up for Tianyu. It's not that I don't trust Tianyu. He's my brother. We grew up together. How can I not trust him? I don't believe the Green Rock race. Tianyu has been bullied before, so I'll talk to the Green Rock race about this. You can't be careless about your happiness. Night Sorrow stood up and said, Brother, it's Nian Zhao's greatest happiness to have a brother like you in this life. Yin Yen smiled until her eyes turned red. She knew that for her happiness, Night Sorrow was willing to do anything. Take care of your business and head home early. Night Sorrow patted Yi Nianxiao on the shoulder, then left Night Moon's lounge. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Yi Nianxiao wanted to cry. Because her brother hadn't been around for 700 years, she had felt very helpless. She felt like she had lost her backing, and now she was once again the Yi Nianxiao who had the strongest brother. What's wrong? Do you feel a little emotional? Yi Xinyu appeared in the lounge. Great Aunt is here. Yi Nianxiao wiped the corner of her eyes. Yes, your Night Moon's emperor. How can you cry like a little girl? But your brother is right. You can't get married and suffer. We'll feel bad for you. Yi Xinyu stroked Yi Nianxiao's hair. She had been listening the whole time, but she didn't disturb them. Permanently exempt from paying for sex? Look at this. Nianxiao also doesn't want to get married. Yi Nianxiao wiped her face and smiled. You're Night Moon's emperor. Naturally, you can't be like an ordinary girl. Besides, your brother is Night Sorrow. Ha! Yi Xinyu smiled. Night Sorrow's clone returned to the city in the sky to accompany his family, while his main body discussed this matter with Tianyu. Tianyu, I've asked. It's not impossible. We're brothers, but there are some things that have to be made clear. Don't you think so, Long Jean? Night Sorrow sat down beside Long Jean. He wanted to find an ally to deal with Tianyu. Captain, don't worry. I support you. If you want to get a wife, you have to have an attitude. Long Jean directly expressed his support for Night Sorrow. All right. Long Jean, you're not being honest. Brother 13, just say it and I'll do it. Tianyu nodded. Tianyu, you're my brother. Nianxiao is my only sister. I care about your happiness, but I don't believe in the Azure Rock race. So, don't think that you can marry Nianxiao into the Azure Rock race. It's impossible. Night Sorrow explained his point of view. I'm not saying that the Azure Rock race's young master has to marry into the Yi clan. That means that there's no such thing as marrying into the Yi clan. It's just a normal marriage. Don't pin the broken rules of the Azure Rock race on our Nianxiao. Brother 13, I understand. Actually, I also have these thoughts. As long as Nianxiao is willing, I'm willing to do anything. If grandfather and the old ancestor don't agree, I'll be like father and run away without caring about anything. Brother 13, don't you think that my parents are powerful? After so many years, they don't care about their parents or their son. They just want to live their own lives. Tianyu shook his head. Tianyu, uncle and auntie won't be in any danger, right? Night Sorrow asked worriedly. I used to worry about that too, but I'm an idiot to worry about that. I'm worried that they'll be betrayed. Divination can tell that they're living like immortals. It's just that grandfather and the old ancestor can't determine their location and can't catch them. They've always been very careful. They know that my grandfather and grandfather won't let them off. Once they know where they are, they'll definitely catch them. Tianyu was a little annoyed because his parents were too irresponsible. Are you angry? There's no need at all. Because they believe that with the Azure Rock race and the Xuanwan race around, you'll definitely be able to live well. Long Jean smiled. Yes, I think so too, so I forgive them. However, their way of thinking is pretty good. If the family forces me, I can totally imitate them. Tianyu looked at Night Sorrow and expressed his attitude. Then you can tell the family. But no matter what, I'll support you and Nianxiao. Back then, I took care of the Celestial Cliffs for you. I don't mind fighting the Azure Rock race again. Night Sorrow patted Tianyu's shoulder. Once this matter is settled, the Azure Rock race will have to consider going against the Deluxe Merit Emperor and the Human Emperor, right? Besides, they didn't let Tianyu marry into their family. Also, I have something that I need your help with in the future. Long Jean said. You're boring. We're brothers. Do you need to ask for help? Night Sorrow knocked Long Jin's shoulder. Tianyu is about to get married. I can't fall behind him. However, dragon language doesn't have any relatives. I'm worried that she'll feel uncomfortable. So, Captain, can you give her an identity in the Chaos Realm or the Nine Regions world? You two can become siblings or something. It'll be so honorable to be the Human Emperor's elder sister. Long Jean spoke his thoughts. Shameless. Tianyu muttered. None of your business. Long Jean glared at Tianyu. Elder sister? Long Jean, you're really good. However, who's elder and who's younger is decided by the heavens. You can't just make the decision. Night Sorrow was a little speechless. It seemed that Long Jean had already prepared a trap and was waiting for him to fall into it. Chapter 1972. In order to resolve the issue of dragon language, Night Sorrow's group of 3 didn't waste any time. They directly took a teleportation array to Ethereal Imperial City. Night Sorrow left the teleportation array and went to a gambling house. He threw down several Holy Spirit stones and took out a cup of sex. Brother 13, you're not going to use this to decide the size of dragon language, are you? Tianyu was dumbfounded. Today, I'll rely on this. Yishang will believe in fate this time. Yishang nodded at Tianyu. When they arrived at the Night Moon Villa, Long Jean called out, and the god-slaying squad gathered. Night Sorrow's wives were also present. I'll tell you 2 things. The first is about Tianyu. He plans to propose to my little sister, dragon language. I support this, but there are some details that need to be discussed. The second thing is that Long Jean is anxious to see Tianyu get married, So he plans to propose to Dragon Language. However, everyone knows about Dragon Language's situation. Ever since she left the Primal Chaos region with us, she has no relatives. I don't want my brothers and sisters to have no relatives. Today Night Sorrow, will be your relative. What do you think about Dragon Language? Night Sorrow looked at the assembled members of the God-slaying squad. Many thanks, Captain. Dragon Language is willing. Dragon Language nodded. Long Jean wants us to be brother and sister, but I'm not willing. Today, I'll use this to decide the size. Night Sorrow made a grabbing motion with his left hand, and a table by the side of the training field flew over. Next, Night Sorrow slammed the cup of sex on the table. You can do that? Liang Yu looked at Night Sorrow with some astonishment. Why not? Dragon Language, what do you think? Night Sorrow smiled at Dragon Language. Of course. Dragon Language turned her head and wiped the corners of her eyes. She knew that Night Sorrow had done a lot for her. Now he was willing to do something for her. Whoever cheats is a dog. Yun Huang shouted. H6, do you think everyone is like you, Yun Huang? Just shake and slap to determine the size. Yi Shang glared at Yun Huang. I'll go first. Dragon Language walked up to the table, shook his cup, and slammed it on the table. Following which, the very active Yun Huang stepped forward and opened it. 3-6. How silly. Liang Yu and the others laughed. What do you know? This is called good things come in pairs. Dragon Language looked at Liang Yu and the others with dissatisfaction. It's my turn now. Dragon Language. Are you the older sister or the younger sister? Let's see who's better. Night Sorrow shook his cup and slammed it on the table. Before Yi Shang could open it, Yun Huang had already opened it. 3-4s. Good things come in pairs. Not bad. Are you convinced by the Dragon Language? Night Sorrow slammed the table. We all lost. What's there to be convinced about? Dragon Language greets elder brother. Dragon Language bowed to Night Sorrow. Let's wait for a while. I suddenly realized that I'll become smaller in the future. Captain, can I fight for myself? Long Jean stood up. Because Dragon Language was a girl, he would have to call Night Sorrow elder brother in the future. I'm happy today. I'll give you a chance. Come on. Night Sorrow smiled. You're the captain. You go first. Long Jean made an inviting gesture to Night Sorrow. Watch me kill all. Night Sorrow shook his cup and slammed it on the table. Yun Huang opened it. This time, everyone laughed. One of the dice stood up without it, while the other two were dots. Good things come in pairs, but this is a little too small. Night Sorrow was speechless. This was the prelude to a tragedy. Looking at Night Sorrow's 2 dots, everyone laughed. Getting 2 dots out of 3 was something that others couldn't do even if they wanted to. Watch me kill all. Long Jean laughed loudly and slammed the dice cup on the table. When Yun Huang opened the dice cup, Long Jean was dumbfounded because the result was even more tragic. He was too excited and forgot about his strength as the Golden Dragon. The force of the shaking was too great. 2 of the dice broke, leaving only 1. Alright, you'll still be the captain in the future. Long Jean was speechless as he slapped his hands together. A great opportunity was lost just like that. Dragon Language, you haven't known me for a long time. But during the 700 years that I was unconscious, you and the brothers of the God-slaying team were together for 700 years. You're our family. Come, light the incense. Night Sorrow nodded to Dragon Language. The incense was lit. Night Sorrow and Dragon Language swore to the heavens and became sworn brothers. Then, the group of people began to drink. Luo, you and Sister Xian, help take care of these matters. If the others have plans to start a family, we'll also help arrange it. Night Sorrow instructed Datura as they drank. After drinking, Night Sorrow left. He wanted to return to Tianhuang City to cultivate. With the matters at hand settled, he felt more at ease. Captain, you've thought of everything you should and shouldn't have. With such a captain, I have no regrets in this life. Qian Yu whispered. He just wants to see his brothers and sisters doing well. This is also his pursuit. Sikong Chuyu nodded. Tianyu also left. He had to go back and tell his family about this matter. He was the only son of Azure Rock Patriarch Tian Yunsong and the only young patriarch. Tian Yunsong and forefather Azure Rock were talking about Night Sorrow's title. In addition, the leaders of the 100 races of the celestial realm, including the patriarchs of the divine beast race, had received a joint letter from the Tianhuang city lord, King Yowu, and Grand Elder confirming Night Sorrow's identity as the human emperor. Yunsong. The two words divine emperor are very frightening. Not to mention, it's also immortal. This means that he's qualified to reach the peak. With the forbidden attribute, this guy is absolutely ruthless. Ordinary Emperor Tribulation cultivators have no chance in front of him, forefather Azure Rock said. He dealt with our Azure Rock clan's celestial cliffs. Father, please don't take it to heart. Night Sorrow is still young. There's a lot of room for improvement in the future. His achievements are immeasurable. Tian Yunsong didn't want forefather Azure Rock to hold a grudge against Night Sorrow because of celestial cliffs. Celestial Cliffs is a bully at home, but a coward outside. So what if he's dealt with? He did it for our young patriarch. We should be happy that Tianyu has a brother like this. At the very least, who would dare bully him outside? Forefather Azure Rock didn't mind. Father, there's one more thing. The Black Phoenix Patriarch is saying that Tianyu has their blood in him. We can't fight, and there's no end to it, Tian Yunsong said, a little annoyed. Then what do we do? It's a fact that my grandson kidnapped someone else's daughter. Before Tianyu, they wouldn't have done this. Now that their descendant isn't outstanding, of course they'll target Tianyu. Later, I'll go talk to the Black Phoenix Patriarch. If that doesn't work, then I won't care anymore. If they can go ask Night Sorrow for him, why are they trying to be unreasonable with us? Forefather Azure Rock said. Then we'll listen to father's arrangements. Tian Yunsong knew what to do. Chapter 1973. Tianyu scanned the area with his soul force, but didn't find Song Yunshan. He returned to his residence, then kicked the table over. Song Yunshan and Patriarch Azure Rock were in the clan's ancestral hall, isolated from prying eyes and divining. Bring him here. Something must have happened. If it's a small matter, they can deal with it on their own. It must be something big, Patriarch Azure Rock said to Song Yunshan. Song Yunshan left the ancestral hall and arrived at Tianyu's residence. Grandfather, where did you go? Tianyu glanced at Song Yunshan. When there's nothing going on, you're always here, but when there's something going on, you're nowhere to be seen. Child, what are you talking about? I had something to discuss with the Patriarch. When I saw you come back, I immediately came over. Go pay your respects to the Patriarch. Song Yunshan pulled Tianyu to the ancestral hall. Did something happen? Kicking a table is wrong. If anyone provokes you, you should kick them. Patriarch Azure Rock looked at Tianyu, a smile on his face. Tianyu was the most outstanding descendant of the Azure Rock clan. In the past, he hadn't been as good as the others because he lacked the time to cultivate. Grandfather, Patriarch, it's like this. I like a woman, but she won't marry me. Tianyu said. What kind of woman won't marry? Are you telling the junior patriarch of the Azure Rock clan to marry into her family? As soon as he heard Tianyu's words, Song Yunshan grew frantic. If his son ran away and his grandson married into his family, there was no hope. She didn't tell me to marry into her family, Tianyu said. What my 13th brother means is that in the future, we'll live our own lives. Don't force the Azure Rock clan's rules on others. Your 13th brother? You have to listen to your 13th brother when it comes to getting a wife? Song Yunshan's temper flared. In Tianyu's mind, his 13th brother's words were more important than his grandfather's. That's not it. Grandfather, don't be angry. I like my 13th brother's only sister, Yin Xiao. That's why my 13th brother has the final say in this matter, Tianyu explained. He knew that angering Song Yunshan wouldn't end him. Calm down. Azure Rock waved his hand, gesturing for him and Tianyu to take a seat. Once Tianyu's. Song Yunshan and Song Yunshan's father's words. And nights. Ask. And night. P, P, so, 2, and T, T, est, T, T. That's reasonable. It's not excessive at all. Let's do as they say. It's your fortune to be able to obtain a woman from the Yi family, Patriarch Green Rock said with a smile after hearing Tian Yu's words. He's Deluxe Gongda's only sister. What's so bad about that? Do you think Deluxe Gongda's family's upbringing is fake? He's worried about the child's surname. Can't you see Night Sorrow? Song Yunshan. He doesn't want Tianyu or Nianxiao to be wronged. Song Yunshan glared at his son. Song Yunshan didn't say a word, but he was deep in thought. Tianyu, this is a good thing. The ancestor supports you. You're lucky to have a brother like him. Even in the Azure Rock clan, I don't think there's anyone who cares more about your life than he does. As your ancestor, I want you to live well, Song Yunshan. Song Yunshan nodded. Thank you, ancestor. Tianyu rose to his feet and bowed slightly to Song Yunshan and Song Yunshan. You're a good boy. Yunlong, come here. Song Yunshan called into the air. A moment later, a middle-aged woman entered the hall. She bowed slightly to Song Yunshan and Song Yunshan, then smiled at Tianyu. Many of the elders of the Azure Rock clan liked Tianyu. Tianyu greets the great aunt. Tianyu rose to his feet and bowed. Forefather Green Rock told the elder of the Green Rock clan, who was also his daughter, Tian Yunlan, the whole story. He told her to represent the Green Rock clan in proposing marriage to the Yi clan. He emphasized that the Yi clan would fulfill any of their requests. As for Tian Yunsong, he also went, but he was only there to accompany the guests. Father, so you're going as a guest? Song Yunshan was a little depressed. You're not calm enough, but you must go. The patriarch's presence will make things official. Don't you know what the immortal God Emperor means? Did I talk to you for nothing? Song Yunshan glared at Song Yunshan. Night Sorrow's original body settled Long Jin and Tianyu's matters. He returned to Tianhuang City. He didn't take the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. Instead, he tore open the array on the city wall and jumped into the Nirvana Ocean. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow reached the area where the Nirvana storm was more violent. He sank to the bottom of the Nirvana Ocean. Night Sorrow found that the Nirvana storm was a little weak. It wasn't suitable for him to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow took out the Clear Sky God Pagoda and enlarged it. The Clear Sky God Pagoda continued to rise. When it was only a few dozen feet above the ocean, Night Sorrow felt it was enough. He landed at the top of the Clear Sky Pagoda and began to cultivate. He continued to comprehend the power of heaven and earth. After sleeping for 700 years, all of Night Sorrow's attributes were at the Emperor rank. Even the life attribute that he hadn't cultivated before was at the Emperor rank. Moreover, it was at the 2-star Emperor rank. Now, Night Sorrow planned to cultivate wholeheartedly. He wanted to break through the void, destruction, and space-time attributes. It would be even better if he could reach the peak Emperor rank. The scene of Night Sorrow entering the Nirvana Ocean naturally couldn't be hidden from the Tianhuang City Lord and the others. This little fella really has a fighting spirit. He actually entered the Nirvana Ocean to cultivate. No one has done this before. The Grand Elder lamented. Therefore, he hopes that he has a positive attitude. He didn't slack off just because he reached the 8-star Emperor rank. The Tianhuang City Lord looked in the direction of Night Sorrow's cultivation and said, "Time. What he needs now is time. He is about to enter the 9th era. In other words, there is still one era left. He must reach that height. Otherwise, he won't be able to pass the God-destroying calamity." King Yawu said. He was very worried about Night Sorrow. It's enough. What's his cultivation speed now? His lifespan is only close to 1,000 years. Because he is young, his fate and aura are very sufficient. He is advancing rapidly and is unstoppable. The Grand Elder said. He was very envious of Night Sorrow's youth. After living for 8 eras, they were all a little tired. Before this reincarnation cycle ends, if we can't pass it, we will fall. I hope to see him rise again. That would be enough for us. The Tianhuang City Lord said softly. The Green Rock Race's people are here. Patriarch and elders are together. Is something the matter? The Tianhuang City Lord looked in the direction of the teleportation array. Chapter 1974. After hearing Tian Yunlan's intentions, the Grand Elder smiled. I'm not the only one who can be a witness. These two are fine too. The human sovereign's sister is getting married. This is a joyous occasion. Your Green Rock clan has profited greatly. Thank you, Grand Elder, for your support. With the City Lord and King Yowu here, I believe this will be a grand occasion. Tian Yunlan's face was full of smiles. Then, the group took the teleportation array and rushed towards the Ethereal Dynasty. When they arrived at the Ethereal Dynasty, Elder Lan in the City Lord's mansion knew. He quickly informed Lin Piaomiao and brought them to the VIP tower. After Lin Piaomiao received the news, she told Night Sorrow, who was drinking with the Humanitarian League. Night Sorrow's clone had been accompanying Pu Luo and the Great Demon King from the Humanitarian League. Look at the original version of Chapter A, Section DT. So many people came. Are they here to express their sincerity or to denounce me? Don't worry. I'll take them on. Night Sorrow finished the wine in his cup and stood up. Brother, don't get into a conflict with others. Yin Yan Xiao, who had also returned home, was a little worried. Don't worry. If I can't make the decision for my sister, then there's no point in living. If anyone dares to suppress me on this matter, I dare to fight the world. Night Sorrow was a little angry. Then, the Humanitarian League group arrived at the Ethereal Dynasty. Night Sorrow told the Humanitarian League to stay in Yiyu Manor. He wanted to go to the Ethereal Dynasty's VIP tower to take a look. I'm not going. They're here to propose marriage. Do we have to go and pay them a visit? The Great Demon King was also a little angry. I'm not going to see the Green Rock clan. The City Lord, my martial uncle, and the Grand Elder are here. I have to go and pay them a visit. Night Sorrow said. Let's go together and see what's going on. Pu Luo said. Then, the group arrived at the Ethereal Dynasty's VIP tower. Seeing the arrival of Night Sorrow, the mayor, King Yowu, and the Grand Elder were all very happy. The mayor even cancelled the energy in his body and returned to the real body of Tran Heng, the writer of the Celestial Demon List. Looking at Night Sorrow's aura, King Yowu knew that Night Sorrow had misunderstood. Night Sorrow, it seems that you have some misunderstanding. Patriarch Qing Peng and Elder Yun Lan came to propose marriage. They felt that it wasn't grand enough, so they invited Martial Uncle, City Lord Qin, and Grand Elder to be witnesses. Lord Human Emperor, I am Tian Yunlan of the Green Rock clan. I was entrusted by the ancestor to come to the 9 regions world to propose marriage with the Patriarch. Because Yin Yan Xiao is Lord Human Emperor's only sister, in order to make it grand, we invited the 3 of you to be witnesses. Tian Yunlan said. So that's how it is. I, Night Sorrow, have gauged the heart of a gentleman with my own yardstick. My apologies. Then, please move to Star Moon City. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the Green Rock clan's people and nodded towards Tianyu. Tian Yuntsong cupped his hands towards Night Sorrow in return. At this moment, he had a higher opinion of Night Sorrow because Night Sorrow was a person who was what he was. He had come in anger because of a misunderstanding. After speaking, he didn't try to cover up his embarrassment. He directly explained it in a straightforward manner. It wasn't shameful at all. After arriving at Star Moon City, Night Sorrow sent someone to inform his parents and Yin Yan Xiao to come over. Now that they were here, the matter of marriage had to be discussed. Furthermore, knowing that the other party attached great importance to this matter and had even invited the 3 big shots of the 100 Races Alliance, Night Sorrow's attitude became a lot better. When others gave him face, he had to accept it. When face was returned, it had to be returned. Both sides had a good discussion because Night Sorrow's starting point was for the sake of Tianyu and Yin Yan Xiao. He didn't make things difficult for them at all. Domain Lord Knight, after they get married, where would be suitable for them to live? We need to arrange it. How about Misty Imperial City? Tian Yunlan asked. Night Sorrow didn't accept the title of Human Emperor, so Tian Yunlan changed it to Domain Lord Knight. That's up to them. They can live wherever they want. I'll take care of the family business. I've spent some time in the celestial realm, so I have some family business. In truth, Tianyu is as important to me as my younger sister. You might not understand this, but Tianyu and I have known each other since we were in our teens. We've fought side by side, and we've fought countless life and death battles together. We're not blood brothers, but we're better than blood brothers. My children call him Uncle, Night Sorrow said. Tianyu stood up and walked over to Night Sorrow to hug Night Sorrow. We understand. We're truly happy for Tianyu. Tian Yunlan cupped her hands towards Night Sorrow. Domain Lord Night, I, Sky Cloud, am a straightforward person. There are some things that I have to say. You can call me shameless, but I still have to ask. You can say whatever you want about Tianyu and Yin Yanxiao. I don't have any objections at all. But what will the child's surname be? He's the only heir of the Azure Rock clan's patriarch's bloodline. Sky Cloud rose to his feet and looked at Night Sorrow. Big brother, Domain Lord Night, please don't take offense. Tian Yunlan glanced at Tian Yunlan anxiously. It's fine. Azure Rock clan leader, you're overthinking things. Night Sorrow admires your straightforwardness. I, Night Sorrow, am not an unreasonable person. Their child will be the child of your Azure Rock clan. Naturally, the child will have the surname of your Azure Rock clan. I'm just the child's uncle. Night Sorrow laughed as he helped Sky Cloud sit down. Many thanks. Sky Cloud clasped his hands towards Night Sorrow. He was truly grateful to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had thought of everything perfectly and hadn't made things difficult for him. So you know you're shameless. Did you arrange Tianyu's marriage? Did you ask for my permission? An old man in white robes led a man into the hall. Emperor Tang and Lu Qi followed behind them. Grand Elder, the Black Phoenix clan leader is coming. Emperor Tang can't stop him. Emperor Tang spoke up. Lu Qi stood to one side, his posture guarded. It's fine. You two, sit down and drink some water. The Grand Elder nodded to Emperor Tang and Lu Qi. He knew things were going to be troublesome. Xian Jinggang, what are you trying to do? Once this is over, you can say whatever you want. Sky Cloud said. I'm trying to do something? The Governor, Emperor Yawu, and Grand Elder are all here. Let's settle our differences. Is it true that your son kidnapped my only daughter? The Black Phoenix clan leader clasped his hands in greeting, then pointed a finger at Sky Cloud. It's been many years, so I won't argue with you. Let's be honest. You lost a daughter, and I lost my only son. He was the only heir to the Azure Rock clan. Now that my grandson has returned, you shouldn't cause any more trouble. Once this is over, I'll go to the Black Phoenix clan and apologize. Sky Cloud said. But why do you keep stopping me from seeing my grandson? The Black Phoenix clan leader asked. You keep trying to kidnap people. Who would dare let you see them? Sky Cloud explained. My daughter is missing. Can't I see my grandson? Let's be reasonable. Tian Yunlan pulled the Black Phoenix clan leader to a seat. How about this? You two families should stop bickering. Just take it that your two families are officially receiving a bride, and your son and daughter are not at home. Now that the child is at home and the child is about to get married, the grandson should be the grandson, 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 Chapter 1975. Isn't this too much? You have a daughter who's about to get married. How can you have designs on the Green Rock clan's young master's child? Song Tian was a little anxious. What? If you don't agree, then no one will be happy. The Black Phoenix clan leader glared at Song Tian. Black Phoenix clan leader, there's no point in this. Today is the day of the engagement. The Grand Elder said, Xian Jinggang, if you cause trouble, we Green Rock clan won't say anything. But today is the day of Tianyu's engagement. Is it appropriate for you to involve so many people? Song Tian said, I'm causing trouble. What's wrong? The Black Phoenix clan leader glared at Song Tian. He didn't want to let things go. At this moment, Yi Shang, who was originally sitting down, stood up and said, Whatever you want to do has nothing to do with our primal chaos realm. This is Star Moon City. Today, my sister Yi Shang is getting married. My brother Yi Shang is getting married. If you want to cause trouble, please change the time. The Black Phoenix clan leader is fine. The Sky City leader looked at the Black Phoenix clan leader and spat out 4 words. He was clearly unhappy. The Black Phoenix clan was a divine beast clan. It didn't matter if they were arrogant. But now, they came to Xingyue City to cause trouble. They didn't give face to Night Sorrow and the Chaos Realm. My father has a bad temper. All these years, he's been thinking about my sister. His words were a little rude. I hope the Sky City leader and the Night Sorrow Realm leader won't mind. The white-robed man who came with the Black Phoenix clan leader said. At the same time, he pulled the Black Phoenix clan leader back a step. No matter what grudges you had in the past, today is the day of the child's engagement. It's a joyous occasion. Put everything else aside. King Yo-Wu also spoke. It's a good thing that the Black Phoenix clan leader is here. Everyone, sit down and continue the conversation. Elder Tian Yunlan gave the Black Phoenix clan leader a way out. The Black Phoenix clan leader's expression was ugly. He sat down without saying anything because the white-robed man sent him a message. The leaders of the 100 races had received a message from the Council of Elders. They all knew about the birth of the human sovereign. The Black Phoenix Patriarch came to Star Moon City to make a ruckus. He didn't want to give Night Sorrow, the virtuous sovereign, any face. The leader of the Black Phoenix race wanted to cause trouble with the Green Rock race, but he forgot that he would offend Night Sorrow if he did so. The white-robed man reminded him just now. Child, you're Tianyu, right? I'm your uncle, Xian He. I heard that you got married. So your grandfather prepared a congratulatory gift and prepared a mansion for you in the divine capital. The man in white nodded at Tianyu with a smile on his face. His smile was filled with sadness and love. Tianyu greets uncle. Tianyu stood up and bowed to Xian He. Good child, you look very much like your mother, but with a little more determination. Very good. Uncle doesn't have anything to give you. Here are some battle techniques I researched. Take a look. Xian He handed a book to Tianyu. My 13th brother said that I won't accept any gifts when I get married. He'll take care of everything. But I'll accept uncle's gift. Tianyu nodded. Because the Black Phoenix Patriarch and Xian He had arrived, Tian Yunlan told them about the agreement between the Yi family and the Green Rock race. Rich and overbearing. The Black Phoenix Patriarch glanced at Night Sorrow. I don't have much capital, but taking care of my sister and brother is something I, Night Sorrow, can do. Night Sorrow didn't stand on ceremony. Thank you, brother. Tianyu could see that Night Sorrow didn't care about offending anyone for him and Yin Yanxiao. Thank you, brother. Yin Yanxiao sat down beside Night Sorrow. You don't have to be so courteous with me. What's the point of having me? I'm here to protect you from any grievances. Whether it's in front of others or behind others, I'll say it. If anyone dares to give you any face, I'll fight to the end, said Night Sorrow. He was expressing his attitude to everyone. That won't happen. Nian Xiao is the Yi family's treasure. In the future, she'll also be the treasure of our Green Rock race. Don't worry. Tian Yunlan rejoiced in her heart. If it were anyone else, it would be very difficult to discuss the marriage. Night Sorrow was truly domineering. I'm very sorry. Night Sorrow's words were a bit rough and made everyone unhappy. I'll apologize later. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands towards Tian Yunlan. Next, the wedding date was set. It would be held in 3 months. The wedding would be held in Star Moon City. After arranging the guests' accommodations, Knight Sorrow and Tianyu went to Star Moon Lake to enjoy the breeze. Tianyu, Brother 13's attitude today is a bit extreme. Don't mind him, said Knight Sorrow to Tianyu. Brother 13, let's not talk about this between us. Others don't understand you, but I do. My grandfather and the others went overboard. They didn't give others any face, said Tianyu. Actually, it's not important. You and Yanxiao are better than anything else. Knight Sorrow took out a jar of wine and handed it to Tianyu. At this time, in the VIP building of Star Moon Island, King Yowu was sitting in the main seat. The Patriarch of the Green Rock race and the Patriarch of the Black Phoenix race were all present. The City Lord of Tianhuang City was sitting in the guest seat, drinking tea. Xian Jinggang, are you here to cause trouble? Do you think you can cause trouble here? King Yowu's face was cold because he was very angry. No, Lord King Yowu, you misunderstood. The Patriarch of the Black Phoenix race, Xian Jinggang, hurriedly explained. The Black Phoenix race was very strong, but they weren't qualified to challenge King Yowu. If you want to cause trouble in the future, look at the situation. I send a message to you. Knight Sorrow is the Emperor of the Human Race, the Emperor of the 100 Races Alliance, and the Deluxe Merit Emperor. Do you think the Black Phoenix race is lucky and fated to go against the Deluxe Merit Emperor? King Yowu slammed his hand on the armrest of his chair. The armrest of the chair was fine, but there was an explosion in the air. Lord King Yowu, please calm down. My father was just complaining. He didn't mean any harm, explained Xian He. If you really want to cause trouble, who will stand on the Black Phoenix race's side? The Bloodscale race and Knight Sorrow are close friends. The Prince of the Golden Dragon race is his sworn brother. The new Emperor of the Ice Phoenix race is his concubine. The Nine-Tailed Fox race has a good relationship with him. Don't you know the strength of the Humanitarian League? Haven't you thought about the consequences? King Yowu glared at Xian Tiangang. Xian Tiangang didn't say anything. He knew that King Yowu was Knight Sorrow's backer. He was the most terrifying backer. Lord King Yowu, please calm down. The leader of the Black Phoenix race may not have thought so much, said Tian Yunlan. I'll say a few words. Since King Yowu has said what happened today, I won't emphasize it again. I'll talk about the future. It's a fact that Knight Sorrow is the Emperor of the human race. His title is the Immortal Godly Emperor. This represents his personal achievements, but it also represents the future of the celestial realm. He's the savior of the celestial realm. He's the only chance for the celestial realm to survive the last reincarnation. If anyone goes against him, I'll deal with them without asking who's right or wrong. Do you think I'm selfish? Do you think I'm selfish and useless? Which race in the heaven realm doesn't follow this rule? I won't tolerate it. Also, I'm a human. The city lord put down the teacup in his hand and said. Chapter 1976. Domineering, overbearing. If King Yenwu's reprimand had left some face, then the desolate city lord's words didn't leave any leeway at all. He clearly told everyone that he would deal with anyone who didn't like Yishang, regardless of who was right or wrong. Xian Jinggang understands. I was a little confused today. Xian Jinggang bowed to the mayor and King Yowu. At this time, he had no choice but to admit his mistake. The first part of the mayor's words was based on the general situation of the celestial realm, from the perspective of the 100 Races Alliance. The second part was from the perspective of the human race, which unconditionally supported Knight Sorrow. If he went against the human race, then the mayor would speak as a human. Alright, that's all. Let's put this matter behind us. The marriage between your two races needs to be reconsidered. The mayor's tone was a little calmer. You two stubbornly blocked the marriage of your son and daughter. What about now? Their son is about to get married. What's the point? Tell them to come back. The Grand Elder said with a smile. We did tell them to come back, but they ignored us. Song Tianyun said. That depends on the situation. Their son is about to get married. How can they not come back? You two send the same message, Make some promises and they will come back. The Grand Elder shook his head helplessly. The human race was still the most knowledgeable about the ways of the world. Night Sorrow and Tianyu sat side by side, talking about their life in the bamboo forest peak. Yin Yen smiled and brought a jar of wine to the two of them. Although I offended some people today, I'm really happy. Night Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Tianyu and Yin Yen. My grandfather and grandfather may think that I haven't been living well these years. In fact, I think it's been very good. Because of wind and rain, Brother 13 has always stood in front of me. Brother 13, you have to leave a place for me in the bamboo forest peak. We met there and rose there. Tianyu said, although you're not a disciple of Medicine Valley, I think no one will object if I ask. Night Sorrow smiled. Not a disciple of Medicine Valley? It doesn't matter. I'll join. I want to be a protector or something in the Medicine Valley. Eldest senior brother and the others won't refuse, Tianyu said with a smile. All right, leave it to me. Night Sorrow nodded. After the business in the VIP tower was finished, the mayor and his companions went to the top of the tower and drank tea while looking at the lake. Naturally, they saw Night Sorrow and his companions who were sitting on a rock next to the lake. It's good to be young. The Grand Elder sighed. They're such good brothers. It's rare for Tianyu to have a brother like that. Perhaps this is his greatest gain since coming to Nanumbra. Skycloud said, brothers, it's rare to be brothers. Back then there were 4 of us, but now there are only 3 left. King Yawu lowered his voice. The city lord patted King Yawu's shoulder. Night Sorrow has achieved so much. I have no regrets. Skycloud and Xian Jinggang looked at each other. They realized there were many things they didn't know. There are some things you don't know. I'm not trying to hide them, but there's no need to mention them. In the last reincarnation, they fought with the human emperor against the winged demon. There were 4 emperors who survived. They came from different sects, but they were all good friends and brothers. Later, 2 of them went to Tianhuang City and the other 2 went to the divine capital, the Grand Elder said. By now, Tian Yunsong and the others knew who the 4 people were. They were none other than the city lord, the Great Elder, King Yawu, and the unparalleled Sword Emperor. Only 3 people remained because the unparalleled Sword Emperor, Yan Wushuang, had perished. This relationship made Song Skycloud and Xian Jinggang understand why the human race had always been so united. It was because the 3 most powerful leaders of the human race were brothers. Yawu, when we went to Night Moon Villa to take the teleportation, did you notice a team in the mansion? The city lord asked. I did. It should be the famous god-slaying team in the past few hundred years. Their overall strength is not bad. The rarest thing is that they're young and full of vigor. King Yawu nodded. I plan to hold a meeting with the elders of the 100 races when we go back. I suggest that we focus on training these young people. They'll definitely be the backbone of the battle against the winged demon in the future, the city lord said. If the meeting doesn't agree, we'll send them to the divine capital and train them ourselves. King Yawu nodded. Tianhuang City was the city of the 100 Races Alliance. It was built to defend against the winged demon, while the divine capital was the city of the human race. The 100 races developed in the divine capital, but the human race had the right to speak. That won't happen. The city lord, King Yawu, and the Great Elder have been working hard for the stability of the Heaven Realm. All the clans of the 100 Clans Alliance have seen this, the Xuanwan clan leader said. Although he was scolded, he recognized the city lord and the other 2's perspective on the overall situation. I've thought about it in the past, but Night Sorrow was in a coma. It wasn't appropriate to mention it, so I put it aside. This time, we can mention it when we go back. Also, we have to talk to Night Sorrow. They won't agree just because we want to. Night Sorrow treasures the people around him, the Grand Elder said with a smile. There's one more thing to deal with. I've been traveling around the world recently and found that their people are investigating the Heaven's Vault tribe. There's probably something wrong. If we don't deal with it in time, the Heaven's Vault tribe will be crushed. The city lord pointed at Night Sorrow's direction with his chin. Someone's stirring up trouble again. They're really restless. But there shouldn't be any problems in the near future. They won't use their weapons until there's a happy occasion. The Grand Elder shook his head helplessly. The people of Star Moon City won't, but what about the Human Alliance? We know the Demon King's personality. I really wonder if it was the right decision to let him follow you. If he becomes the Grand Elder, will there still be peace? The City Lord rubbed his short hair with his hand. Night Sorrow had indeed sent people to investigate the Heaven's Vault tribe because someone from the Chaos Realm had died in the Heaven's Vault tribe. This didn't mean that Night Sorrow would take revenge whenever someone from the Chaos Realm died. It was because the two of them had come to the Celestial Realm in order to break the shackles of the Nine Realms world. It was for the sake of the Chaos Realm. Under such circumstances, it was natural for the people of the Chaos Realm to take revenge. The dead couldn't be wronged in the underworld. Night Sorrow is a straightforward person. Just ask him what happened and he'll understand. If it's a small matter, but if the Heaven's Vault tribe did something evil, then there's nothing we can do, Song Tian said. After chatting with Tianyu and Yin Yen for a while, Night Sorrow thought of Long Jin and the dragon language. He still had some questions to discuss with the dragon language. He was almost certain that the disappearance of the black dragons had something to do with Mo Tianji. The new fastest, carrot. Chapter 1977. Leaving Tianyu and Yin Yanxiao to talk alone, Night Sorrow got up and left. He took the teleportation array and arrived at Night Moon Villa, where he found Long Jin and Dragon Language. Brother, did Tianyu and Yanxiao's matter go smoothly? Dragon Language asked. There were some twists and turns, but it went very smoothly. Right now, I'm worried about you too. Long Jin, is there any problem with your uncle? Night Sorrow asked. There's no problem. I gave him a heads up. Long Jin nodded. If there's no problem on your side, then things are settled. Dragon Language, I'm still worried about you. I can foresee that the Black Dragons are definitely in cahoots with Mo Tianji. I don't know when they'll attack our Star Moon City and the Nine Domain world. This will make things difficult for you. Why don't you and Long Jin's true body go live in the Nine Domain world after the wedding? Night Sorrow said, Brother, you don't have to worry about Dragon Language. There's nothing difficult about it. Regardless of whether you're a human or a dragon, there's a scale in your heart. You'll know what's right and what's wrong. Thank you, brother. Dragon Language nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow was much younger than her, but after hearing Night Sorrow's words, she felt at ease. We're siblings, so there's naturally no need to be so polite. Long Jin, how's your cultivation of the techniques I told you about last time? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Night Sorrow asked. I've already researched fire. Furthermore, I've changed our dragon's ultimate technique, Dragon Traversing the Nine Heavens, into my Dragon Traversing the Nine Heavens. In addition, I've also cultivated a blade technique. Then I'm relieved. Right, let's take a look around and see if there's a suitable mansion. Tianyu's about to get married, so I'll have to buy a mansion nearby. Night Sorrow smiled. Following this, the three of them went out. The price wasn't a problem, as long as they liked it. Yishan successfully bought a mansion. But under the confused gazes of Long Jin and Dragon Language, Night Sorrow bought a second set. Then Long Jin understood. He patted Night Sorrow's shoulder heavily because he understood that Night Sorrow had prepared this for him. Long Jin, why don't you talk to your uncle and propose marriage as well? You and Tianyu can get married together. Night Sorrow said. Alright, then I'll go back first. Long Jin thought for a moment and nodded. After Long Jin left, Night Sorrow nodded at Dragon Language. Sister, don't worry. Big Brother will marry you off in a grand manner. It definitely won't be any less ostentatious than any other clan. Dragon Language nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow did not have much interaction with her, but Night Sorrow was exiled to help her, so she was very grateful. After returning to the Golden Dragon clan, Long Jin explained the situation to his uncle. The Black Dragons have a sensible princess. That's good. She's very suitable for our Golden Dragon clan. It can be considered as giving the Black Dragons a chance to live. Propose marriage, that's fine. Now that the Desolate City's City Lord and the others are in Star Moon City, Uncle will make a trip there. Golden Dragon King sighed. In the past few hundred years, he had been very unhappy. The black dragons had disappeared. As the clan leader of the dragons, the black dragons were part of the Black Dragon clan. The current situation was not something he was willing to see. Long Jin's proposal was much easier than the Azure Rock clan's proposal. Because Night Sorrow did not have any requests, the Golden Dragon clan only had the Golden Dragon King and Long Jin. There was no need for dragon language to be angered by anyone. The date was the same as Tianyu and Yin Yanxiao's. They were all married on the same day. The guests stayed for a few days before leaving Star Moon City. They could feel the aura of a new force in Star Moon City. The Desolate City's city lord, King Yo-Wu, the Grand Elder, and Night Sorrow said that they wanted to focus on nurturing the God-slaying squad. Seniors, there's naturally no problem on my side. However, the God-slaying squad is too young and lacking in strength. They can't be compared to the other Heaven Wasteland armies, Night Sorrow said. We chose them not just because they're young. They're all talents. It's just that they've been overshadowed by your excellence. They're all incredible talents no matter where they are, the Grand Elder said. Under such circumstances, Night Sorrow could no longer refuse. He agreed to bring everyone to Desolate City after Long Jin and Tianyu's wedding. The days passed peacefully. Night Sorrow's main body stayed in Nirvana Ocean and analyzed the Nirvana Storm's heaven and earth momentum that strengthened his attributes. When the reincarnation Nirvana flames invaded his divine sea, Night Sorrow raised his destruction attribute heaven and earth willpower to 89%. His space-time attribute, death attribute, and life attribute all had significant improvements. This was because these 5 attributes were formed from the forbidden attribute reincarnation. After comprehending by analogy, his void attribute rose to 87%. This was because Night Sorrow's innate attribute was the most compatible. In his current cultivation state, Night Sorrow felt that his void attribute's heaven and earth momentum was increasing the fastest, followed by the death and life attributes. The destruction and space-time attributes' heaven and earth momentum were bottlenecks. Unless he didn't comprehend them, as long as he comprehended them, he would be able to enter 9-star Emperor, which was the peak Emperor rank. With improvements, Night Sorrow was happy. This was because he had the opportunity to comprehend by analogy. Attributes were either connected or relative. Destruction and death had many similarities. Void, destruction, and space-time also had similarities. Staying at the bottom of the Nirvana Ocean, Night Sorrow cultivated in peace. The celestial realms seemed to have calmed down. Night Sorrow's clone stayed in Star Moon City to cultivate and improve his spear arts. Although the Blood Qilin Evil Punishing Spear was different from the reincarnation Heavenly Halberd, Night Sorrow was used to the Blood Qilin Evil Punishing Spear. On this day, Night Sorrow was cultivating when Blue Luan came. Seeing Blue Luan come, Night Sorrow was stunned. This was because the profound Ice Qilin Tiger was beside her. The profound Ice Qilin Tiger had always been cultivating in 9 grand floors. But because the profound Ice Qilin Tiger was a bit slow and wasn't suited to interact with people, 9 grand floors was rather quiet. Also, Night Sorrow didn't need a mount. Or rather, it wasn't suitable for him to use a mount. Who would dare to use a king rank mount in a battle between emperors? Domain attacks and energy attacks were all fatal. Seeing Night Sorrow, the profound Ice Qilin Tiger roared and went to Night Sorrow's side. Night Sorrow had to raise his hand to touch the profound Ice Qilin Tiger's head. The profound Ice Qilin Tiger used its head to hit Night Sorrow's hand. The profound Ice Qilin Tiger had cultivated for 700 years and was now an overlord. Junior brother, this fella has been sleeping for the past 700 years. It even sleeps for 100 years and doesn't talk to anyone. However, it hasn't been peaceful for the past 2 months, so I had to bring it here, Blue Luan said. Then let it stay in Star Moon City from now on. Ice Qilin, this is your home. Don't hurt anyone. Do whatever you want. Night Sorrow patted the Ice Qilin's neck again. The Ice Qilin Tiger's body shook and roared. It left Night Sorrow's side and rushed into Star Moon Lake. Something's wrong. Lu Qi went to Night Sorrow's side. 7th Elder, do you also feel that something is wrong? Night Sorrow looked at Lu Qi. Chapter 1978. Yes, I didn't notice it before. I'll have to ask clan leader Chi Rui to come here. Yi Shang nodded. He had sensed the dark ice unicorn tiger's excitement when it heard his words. What's going on? Lu Qi was confused. When the ice unicorn tiger was excited, my blood Qilin evil slaying spear vibrated. I'm afraid it has something to do with the blood Qilin tribe, Night Sorrow said as he looked at the blood Qilin evil slaying spear in his left hand. It's that complicated? Lu Qi looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Yes. Therefore, we have to ask the blood Qilin tribe to come and take a look. Clan leader Qi, since your original body is in Infinite Desolation City, please help me inform them, Night Sorrow said to Lu Qi. Lu Qi nodded. He was just passing a message and it didn't take much effort. To Night Sorrow, it wasn't a big deal. However, to the blood Qilin tribe, it was a big deal. 2 days later, Qiru, Lin Xiao and Lin Yun arrived at Star Moon City. Night Sorrow invited them to the hall and told them about the Ice Unicorn Tiger. He told them that the Ice Unicorn Tiger was excited and had activated the blood Qilin evil slaying spear. Where is it? Bring us to see it. Chi Rui stood up and was excited. So were Lin Xiao and Lin Yun. This was an important piece of news. The Dark Ice Unicorn Tiger was in Star Moon City. However, they were guests and they couldn't use their soul power to check. It was disrespectful. Night Sorrow left the VIP hall and called the Dark Ice Unicorn Tiger back. The Dark Ice Unicorn Tiger walked to Shui Lin and the others. It twitched its nose and roared. Check and see what's going on, Night Sorrow said. There's no need to check. He's the reincarnation of Qi Yi's soul. However, his soul was severely damaged and he was confused. That's why your blood Qilin evil slaying spear couldn't retrieve his soul fragments, Chi Rui said. He understood everything when he saw the Ice Unicorn Tiger. So that's how it is. This is a good thing. It's a good thing that third young master is back. Congratulations. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Chi Rui. Night Sorrow, our blood Qilin clan owes you a lot. This time, we want to take the Ice Qilin away. We can give you some compensation, Lin Xiao said. Madam, you're too kind. It's not a big deal, so there's no need for any compensation. I'll let Ice Lin go back with you later. I'm sorry that I haven't taken good care of Ice Lin all these years, Night Sorrow said. You're treating me like an outsider. Lin Yu often talks about you now. Lin Yun touched the Ice Qilin with tears in her eyes. She missed Qilin, her brother who had died many years ago. Night Sorrow looked at the blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear in his hand and handed it to Chi Rui. Third young master, you're back? Take the blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear. There's no need for that. The blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear has been baptized in the Saint Light Pond. At that time, Chi Rui's tailbone was purified into a few drops of blood essence. With those drops of blood as a primer, we can change the Ice Qilin's bloodline. Chi Rui pushed the blood Qilin vanquishing evil spear back to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow received the blood Qilin clan in Star Moon City. Chi Rui's family stayed with the Ice Qilin. Perhaps because of its innate soul, the Ice Qilin was very close to them. After staying for a few days, Chi Rui and Lin Xiao took the Ice Qilin away. However, Lin Yun stayed behind. She wanted to train outside and Chi Rui and Lin Xiao agreed. Lin Yun's strength was not bad. In addition, she stayed with Night Sorrow, so Chi Rui and Lin Xiao were more at ease. Night Sorrow brought Lin Yun to the Humanitarian League and let her stay with Lin Piaomiao. Since Chi Rui left Lin Yun behind, he had to take good care of her. Because of her origin as a virtue beast and an auspicious beast, Lin Yun had an aura that made others feel close to her. Coupled with her easygoing personality, she got along very well with the members of the Humanitarian League and the God-Slaying Squad. After Night Sorrow finished dealing with the matters in Star Moon City, it was time for Night Moon to go to the manor. Every day, he would accompany the members of the God-Slaying Squad to practice their battle techniques. His comprehension of attribute fusion and battle techniques was top-notch. There was no problem for him to guide others in their cultivation. 8M Yongjio, 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 Yongjio. The God-Slaying Squad also had one more member. It was Yin Yanxiao. She was about to become Tianyu's wife. The two of them naturally had to fight side by side. Lin Piaomiao hired people to tidy up the two mansions that Night Sorrow had bought, turning them into joyous bridal chambers. One of the mansions had the plaque Yu Manor, the other, Long Manor. Night Sorrow really wanted to go see Wu Lingfei. However, he felt that if Wu Lingfei was fine, she should have returned. If she hadn't returned, then something must have happened. If he went to see her now, it would easily distract her. Everything was stable. Other than guiding the members of the god-slaying squad in their cultivation, Night Sorrow practiced his spear arts. In the past, Night Sorrow still had some misgivings about using the blood Qilin evil punishing spear. He was worried that if it was damaged, it would damage the Qilin wings. But now, he didn't need to worry about that. There were no battle reports from Tianhuang City. Night Sorrow and the others were leading Night Moon to the manor. Mo Zhantian and Mo Yutian were in a large valley outside Devil Imperial City. In front of them were two large square formations. One was the Dragon-Headed Man Formation, while the other was the Snake-Headed Man Formation. These were the elites of the Dragon-Headed Man and Snake-Headed Man formations that Mo Tianji had tossed to Mo Yutian. The heavenly concubine has been there for more than 700 years. There is still no news. I wonder if she has gotten her body back, Mo Yutian said. The heavenly concubine is a smart person. Perhaps she has already gotten her body back and is cultivating somewhere. We didn't get the Tianhuang war halberd in the reincarnation battlefield. That was a mistake. But bringing back these warriors has strengthened them a lot, Mo Zhantian said as he looked at the snake-headed man and dragon-headed man armies. After bringing back the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man, Mo Yutian and Mo Zhantian began to strengthen their actual combat strength. After 700 years, the Devil Wing clan had built two powerful armies. The Devil Wing clan didn't do anything. They were mainly waiting for news from Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji was one of the three great heavens of the Devil Wing clan. She was the leader. Whether she was here or not was very important. If the patriarch can wake up, then we will have no problem waging war against the celestial realm. Unfortunately, there are too few soul fragments in those two strands of hair. It's not enough to wake him up, Mo Yutian said. It will take time. Even if there are soul fragments, it will be difficult to gather enough soul fragments. Mo Zhantian shook his head. Don't worry. There is still an epoch. Time is not short. If we plan carefully and fight to the death, there is still a chance. Mo Yutian turned his head and looked in the direction of the celestial realm. The celestial realm's lifespan has come to an end. But this step still has to be taken. The passage to the new supreme world must be in the celestial realm. Mo Yutian nodded. The Devil Wing clan also knew that the celestial realm's lifespan was coming to an end, but they still had to conquer it. According to the rules of the past, the new supreme world and the old supreme world were connected. So, they had some plans. The first step of their plan was to conquer the Reincarnation Island. Chapter 1979. Currently, only the Nirvana Ocean Bridge was connected to the celestial realm. It was difficult for the demon-winged race to enter the celestial realm through the Nirvana Ocean Bridge because the heavenly desolate city was there. Therefore, Mo Yutian and Mo Zhantian thought of another way, which was to use the reincarnation battlefield, which was the Reincarnation Island. After occupying the Reincarnation Island, they could set up an array that could affect the Nirvana tide. This way, they could open up a path or even set up a teleportation array. Of course, this was a huge project. Even if they occupied the Reincarnation Island, it wouldn't be easy to set up an array to open up a path. Night Sorrow cultivated in the Nirvana Ocean. However, he felt that the Nirvana tide wasn't powerful enough. It would be better if he was further away from the heavenly desolate city and out of the array's area of effect. However, before he left, Night Sorrow felt that the Nirvana tide wasn't as effective as the reincarnation storm. It wasn't even as effective as the area where the void purple light snake was. At the thought of the area where the void purple light snake was, Night Sorrow was tempted. In the past, Night Sorrow couldn't go there because the Nirvana tide platform was violent. On the Nirvana Ocean Bridge, one couldn't withstand it without an Emperor Realm cultivation, let alone the vast Nirvana Ocean. Even emperors couldn't withstand it. It was a forbidden area. However, Night Sorrow had a chance now. He had the reincarnation domain. The reincarnation attribute was a forbidden attribute and a combination attribute. It surpassed the supreme attribute and suppressed all other attributes except the primordial attribute. After confirming the direction, Night Sorrow flew towards the reincarnation battlefield, or rather, the reincarnation island, with the protection of the reincarnation domain. To be honest, Night Sorrow felt that he hadn't fully explored the reincarnation battlefield. There was still a mystery that hadn't been solved. The previous war at the end of the reincarnation island was a life-and-death battle between the 100-race alliance and the demon-winged race. However, Night Sorrow didn't find that kind of aura on the battlefield. He only went to the place where the human emperor and the demon ancestor fought. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. Night Sorrow had asked King Yowu about this. King Yowu said that he, the heavenly desolate city lord, and the Grand Elder were fighting on the periphery. He didn't have the qualifications to come into contact with the core area. Night Sorrow used the Samsara domain to fly. The Nirvana storm was blocked outside of the domain. Other than the consumption, there was no damage. It didn't take long for King Yowu to travel from the reincarnation battlefield to Tianhuang City. However, the reincarnation battlefield had appeared at that time and counteracted the tide of Nirvana. Now that Nirvana storm had recovered, it took 4 days for Night Sorrow to reach his destination. Right now, Samsara Island was completely different from when Night Sorrow was here. The island was full of storms and whirlpools, and the situation was much worse than before. Night Sorrow was not afraid of this kind of situation. If the situation was bad, it meant that the manifestation of the world's momentum was stronger, making it easier to cultivate. After breaking through the violent Nirvana tide, Night Sorrow landed on Samsara Island. The second time he came, the Night Sorrow felt completely different from the last time. Last time, it was the oppressive aura of deathly stillness. This time, it was the kind of open and violent oppressive aura. Night Sorrow didn't care about this feeling. He planned to find a safe place to lie down and cultivate. After going through so many things, sleeping for 700 years without any news, his family was very worried. Now that the 9 domain clones were at home while the other clone was handling some matters in the celestial realm, the main body could cultivate in peace. As long as he spent some time, Night Sorrow felt that it wouldn't be hard to reach the peak emperor rank. With the strength of a peak emperor, adding on the power of his attributes and absolute arts, Night Sorrow didn't have to worry about anyone plotting against him. B6 Look at Q0 version *upper H. FE with the cultivation of a peak middle-class emperor rank, Night Sorrow didn't need to be as careful as last time. Even if there was a group of dragon and snake-headed people blocking the way, they wouldn't be able to stop him. Night Sorrow's target was the place where he cultivated last time. He intended to raise his nihility attribute. As for his own attribute, Night Sorrow still liked the nihility attribute the most. The destruction attribute was more domineering, but it didn't have the elegance and tolerance of the nihility attribute. After a few days, Night Sorrow arrived at the Broken Sky Mountain region and directly went to the nihility purple light region. The nihility purple light snake was a supreme attribute, but it couldn't be compared to Night Sorrow's reincarnation attribute. In the past, he needed merit energy to suppress it, but now he didn't need to. Night Sorrow could use his reincarnation domain to suppress it. Passing through the stronghold from last time, Night Sorrow took out the clear sky pagoda. After enlarging it, he sat down and started cultivating. The nihility purple light snake didn't like destruction aura. Since he was releasing destruction aura, the purple light snake wouldn't come close. With the main body's problem solved, Night Sorrow let out a breath of relief. He was afraid that there was no hope in doing anything. With hope, there would be motivation. Misty Dynasty Night Moon Villa. Seeing Night Sorrow's clones sitting in the waterside pavilion drinking tea, Lin Piaomiao was a bit bewildered. This was because Night Sorrow had a smile on his face. This situation wasn't common. Night Sorrow, what are you happy about? Lin Piaomiao sat beside Night Sorrow. I entered the reincarnation island and went to the good place where I had my epiphany last time. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Aren't you a bit too daring? I heard that after the reincarnation battlefield's spatial barrier was shattered, it was no longer suitable for living. Why did you go there? That nirvana storm is very dangerous. Lin Piaomiao glared at Night Sorrow. My reincarnation domain can suppress the nirvana storm. As for the harsh environment, it is indeed so. You know that the harsher the environment, the stronger the heaven and earth trend. There are spatial whirlpools in the surrounding tens of thousands of miles. There are also groups of void purple light snakes that don't attack me. Therefore, I can cultivate at ease. There's nothing much today. Can you tell me about the cultivation path of peak emperor rank? Night Sorrow explained his situation. Lin Piaomiao nodded. You will come in contact with it sooner or later. I'll tell you about it. First, I'll talk about Emperor's Calamity. Soon after, Lin Piaomiao told Night Sorrow about the 9-star Emperor rank, which was the path after peak Emperor rank. After grasping 90% of the heaven and earth trend, every bit of progress wasn't easy. The later 90% of heaven and earth trend corresponded to the 9 Emperor's Calamity. Emperor's Calamity mainly depended on one's age. For example, with the strength of 3 Emperor's Calamity, if one's lifespan was less than a small era, the Emperor's Calamity wouldn't come of its own accord. Of course, if one activated the heaven and earth trend and triggered the Emperor's Calamity, the Emperor's Calamity would naturally come. Great Devil King, Fentian, and I all have less than a small era of lifespan. However, if we cultivate faster, we can trigger the Emperor's Calamity. After passing the 9 Emperor's Calamity, the heaven and earth trend has been comprehended to perfection. Next is the Emperor's Calamity. Lin Piaomiao said, what's the difference between triggering the 9 Emperor's Calamity on its own accord and on its own accord? Night Sorrow asked, why would we trigger the 9 Emperor's Calamity on our own accord? Because after passing the 9 Emperor's Calamity, it is easy to continue comprehending the heaven and earth trend. There are almost no bottlenecks. Without passing the 9 Emperor's Calamity, it is extremely difficult to increase one's comprehension of the heaven and earth trend. Lin Piaomiao said. Chapter 1980. That's the truth. However, normal emperors wouldn't initiate the Emperor's Calamity because it's very powerful. Those who aren't strong enough and don't have good survival skills would wait for a small era to pass before the Emperor's Calamity comes. That way, they would have enough time to cultivate. Lin Piaomiao explained to Night Sorrow. I understand. It depends on my situation. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt that the Emperor's Calamity based on his lifespan wasn't suitable for him. But because he would have to face the god's calamity in the future. He only had one era. If anything happens to the main body, just tell me. You can't have any more problems now. Lin Piaomiao looked at Night Sorrow with worry in her eyes. Alright, I won't be rash. I can't let go of everything now. This is what I realized when the nirvana flames entered my body. Night Sorrow held Lin Piaomiao's hand and said. Lin Piaomiao nodded. She could understand because Night Sorrow's reluctant gaze was still in the deepest part of her memory. What a pity! When the main body was at home, we still couldn't have children. Night Sorrow looked at Lin Piaomiao and said apologetically. Night Sorrow's wives all had children. Currently, only Lin Piaomiao didn't. She knew that Lin Piaomiao also wanted a child. We are all emperors. The chances of having children are very low. As I said before, our lifespan is long. Now it's up to you. Lin Piaomiao said. During the 700 years when Night Sorrow was unconscious, Lin Piaomiao was frantically trying to increase her strength. Now that she had passed the Emperor's Calamity, it meant that for the next 2 eras, there wouldn't be any more calamities. I'll be fine. Night Sorrow smiled. I believe you. Right now, you have many ways to improve. Hence, there's no need for you to increase one attribute too much. You should increase the other attributes as well. Only then can the combined reincarnation attribute be effective, Lin Piaomiao said. My time and space attributes combined to form the space-time attribute. Then, life and death attributes can be combined too. That way, I don't need 2 attributes to analyze. Night Sorrow said. I remember that I collected a book left behind by an emperor who combined life and death attributes. Let me see. The new attribute combined life and death attributes is called limitless. It's also called yin and yang. Lin Piaomiao started rummaging through her storage ring. After taking the book, Yi Shang was in no hurry to read it. Instead, he looked at Lin Piaomiao. Why are you looking at me if you're not looking at the book? Lin Piaomiao was a little embarrassed to be stared at by Yi Shang. Because you're prettier than the books, Yi Shang said. Why did you become so naughty when you woke up? Lin Piaomiao's face was red. People have different realizations at different times. This time, after sleeping for 700 years, my realizations are to cherish everything around me, to cherish every little thing around me, Yi Shang said. Lin Piaomiao raised her left hand and grabbed one of Night Sorrow's hands. She knew that Night Sorrow had deep feelings for her and his family. I used to think that I could face everything calmly. But in reality, that's not the case. The last time I faced death, I realized that there were too many things that I couldn't let go of. Too many things that I couldn't bear to part with. Night Sorrow said softly. If you can really bear to part with it, we'll hate you to death. Datura came to the waterside pavilion too. Night Sorrow reached out his right hand and pulled Datura to sit beside him. They say that after cultivating for a long time, people become numb and emotionless. But it doesn't seem to be the case for us. Now, I only know that I miss my family. I miss you, I miss my children, and I miss my parents. Night Sorrow said, Isn't it the same for your family? 700 years. It's been a dark 700 years for the city in the sky. When little Luo became an emperor, the family didn't celebrate. Father only drank 2 jars of wine because everyone was thinking about the scene when you became an emperor hundreds of years ago. Luo didn't even come out of the Yellow Springs River in the evil Punisher land. Lin Piaomiao said, Little Luo must be feeling bad. Why did he work so hard? Isn't it for the stability of the family? Isn't it for our recognition? Night Sorrow smiled. I owe him all these years. Datura nodded. Also, the children are all grown up. We have to pay attention to their love life. Their achievements aren't low, but compared to other cultivators, they're too inexperienced. Our Yi family is also a family that some people are thinking about. Night Sorrow said to his 2 wives. Yujun and Xian's matter has been settled, but they don't plan to get married. They feel that they're still young and want to fight for more time. Lin Piaomiao said, Let them be. Night Sorrow didn't care at all. Night Sorrow, I heard that the 7th Patriarch was looking for some extreme medicinal herbs a few days ago. One of them is the Heavenly Dao Flower. I don't know what it's for. He's helping us guard Star Moon City now. Shouldn't we help him? Datura brought up another topic. Heavenly Dao Flower? We have it. I'll send it over later. Night Sorrow nodded. The Heavenly Dao Flower was precious. But Night Sorrow felt that the relationship between people was the most precious. After chatting with his 2 wives for a while, Night Sorrow took the teleportation array to Star Moon City. After exiting the teleportation array, Night Sorrow saw Lu Qi and the Golden Holy Spirit sitting on the glazed roof of the City Lord's mansion side hall, drinking wine. In a flash, Night Sorrow also went to the glazed roof of the side hall and took out a jar of wine. Why are you in such a good mood today? Lu Qi looked at Night Sorrow with some surprise. This was because the Night Sorrow in his impression wouldn't run over and drink with him directly. I'm in such a good mood today. Little Gu, work hard. One day the Heavenly Dao will merge with your body. Then, you can drink with us. Night Sorrow looked at the Golden Holy Spirit and said. The Golden Holy Spirit nodded at Night Sorrow. After interacting with many people, he understood some words and some things. 7th Elder, Night Sorrow is very grateful that you are staying in Star Moon City. I also thank you for guiding Little Gu's cultivation all these years. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at 7th Elder. I don't know what's wrong with you today. Let's drink. Lu Qi glanced at Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow was the human sovereign. However, he felt that respect didn't lie in words. Respect came from the heart. Night Sorrow and Lu Qi drank in Star Moon City. In Tianhuang City, the Grand Elder was a little anxious because Night Sorrow had disappeared. The Grand Elder went to the city wall of Tianhuang City and used his soul power to scan the place where Night Sorrow used to cultivate. He wanted to check on Night Sorrow's situation. However, he was stunned because Night Sorrow had disappeared. After releasing his soul power and checking the surrounding area, the Grand Elder was a little anxious because he couldn't find Night Sorrow's figure. For the human race, anything related to Night Sorrow was no small matter. The Grand Elder first found a fortune teller, but he couldn't divine Night Sorrow's body. The divination wasn't clear. Then he told Tianhuang City Lord about this. Chapter 1981. Tran Hung shook his head. Don't worry, he might have changed his location. My clone is in the Ethereal Empire's territory. If I go over later, it will be troublesome. Night Sorrow and Lu Qi drank for a while and planned to leave. He took out a black jade box and handed it to Lu Qi. This is what 7th Elder needs. Night Sorrow has it. Little Goo, don't look at it. This is what 7th Elder needs. If you need anything, tell me and I will help you find it. I will definitely be stingy. With that, Yi Shang stepped onto the teleportation array. He had come here to give Lu Qi the Heavenly Dao Flower. Leaving after leaving something behind? What is this? Lu Qi wiped his hands and opened the black jade box. Heavenly Dao Flower. He actually got the Heavenly Dao Flower? Lu Qi sobered up. He had never seen the Heavenly Dao Flower before, but it didn't mean that he recognized it. After thinking for a while, Lu Qi understood. Night Sorrow didn't know why he got the Heavenly Dao Flower. He thought that he needed it and sent it over when he heard the news. Although it wasn't for himself, Lu Qi understood that in Night Sorrow's heart, giving him a petal of the Heavenly Dao Flower was nothing. Little Goo, this is for you. My real body will come over. Take this and ask an alchemy master to refine it into the flesh-bone regenerating pill. When the time comes, you have to drink with me. Lu Qi patted Little Goo's shoulder. After staying in Star Moon City for hundreds of years, Lu Qi and Little Goo had a deep relationship. It was also Lu Qi who had been guiding Little Goo's cultivation. Now that Little Goo was already an imperial emperor, he didn't want to give the Heavenly Dao Flower to others. Therefore, his real body was already on the way. Night Sorrow received a spiritual message when he stepped out of the Night Moon Villa's teleportation array. Night Sorrow was stunned when he heard the spiritual message. Then, he walked out of the teleportation array and walked towards the Twilight Tea House. Tran Hung was originally in the Ethereal Empire. When he received the news from the Grand Elder, he came to the Night Moon Villa. After searching for a while, he did not find Night Sorrow. He was a little anxious, and just as he was about to go in and ask, Night Sorrow came out of the teleportation array. Seeing Night Sorrow's steady steps, he was relieved. He sent a soul message to Night Sorrow to meet him at the Twilight Tea House. When Night Sorrow went to the Samsara battlefield for the first time, he said that Night Sorrow was back and wanted to invite Night Sorrow for tea. When they arrived at the entrance of the Twilight Tea House, they saw Tran Hung. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Tran Hung and led Tran Hung into the Moon Pavilion. Why did the City Lord come to the Misty Dynasty? Did something big happen? Night Sorrow asked as he brewed tea. Something big. The human emperor's main body disappeared under our noses. Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow and said, It's not a big deal. I just changed a place to cultivate. I'm sorry for making you worry. Night Sorrow said with a smile, Don't call me Lord. You're the virtuous merit monarch, the human emperor. You're upright and virtuous. Who can call themselves Lord in front of you? Tran Hung shook his head. The City Lord is the leader of the humans and the 100 races of the Celestial Realm. Every living being in the Celestial Realm has to respect him. As for why my main body left, it was because I felt that the Nirvana storm near the Heavenly Desolation City wasn't strong enough. Therefore, I changed my location. It's safe. Night Sorrow said, There's danger in the depths of the Nirvana Ocean. If you're near the Heavenly Desolation City, we can take care of you. Tran Hung shook his head. He knew that Night Sorrow was a hard-working person. I'm not in the depths of the Nirvana Ocean, but it's still considered the depths. I went to the reincarnation battlefield. Night Sorrow told Tran Hung about the whereabouts of his main body. There was nothing he could hide from Tran Hung. Reincarnation Battlefield, the current Reincarnation Island? Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow in astonishment. Yes, it's now called Reincarnation Island. It's the place where I had my epiphany. The heaven and earth grand momentum there is very strong. It's more suitable for me. Night Sorrow nodded and explained his situation in detail. Only you would dare and only you would have the guts to go to that place. It's fine as long as you're safe. If there's an emergency, you have to protect yourself first. Then, send a clone to the Heavenly Desolation City to inform us. We can rush there at any time. Tran Hung took a sip of tea and said, "That's not right. If you can go to the City Lord, then the Demon-Winged clan can go too. We can set up the Great Star Formation on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge and build the Heavenly Desolation City. The Demon-Winged clan might use Reincarnation Island to make a fuss." After hearing Tran Hung's words, Night Sorrow, who originally wanted to thank Tran Hung, thought of another problem. Night Sorrow's words made Tran Hung put the teacup back on the table. It's not impossible. The Heavenly Desolation Island's innate environment is worse than the Heavenly Desolation City. However, if we don't care about the cost, the situation you mentioned might happen. Then we have to be careful. First of all, the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man in the reincarnation battlefield have disappeared. They weren't taken away by us, so it must be the Demon-Winged clan. Although Mo Tianji came to the celestial realm, she must have met and communicated with the big figures of the Demon-Winged clan. With the dragon-headed man and snake-headed man, the Demon-Winged clan has some natural advantages if they want to attack Reincarnation Island. Night Sorrow said, "When I go back, I will discuss it with your uncle and the Grand Elder in detail. Fortunately, you are from the celestial realm. If you were from the Heavenly Desolation, we might have been defeated unknowingly." Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow and felt somewhat lucky. My conjecture will bring trouble to the City Lord and the Elders. Night Sorrow knew that his idea was a pressure on the Heavenly Desolation City and the 100 Races Alliance. If you have a big heart, then there's no trouble. If you are destroyed one day, you won't even know how you were destroyed. Your conjecture is completely possible. The construction cost of the Heavenly Desolation City is very high because it is a city, a fortress, and we intend to operate it for a long time. However, the Demon-Winged clan doesn't need to do this at all because they want to attack the celestial realm, not defend it. Therefore, it is enough to build Reincarnation Island into a stronghold. Tran Hung shook his head. He was a little scared. If this matter was not solved, they would not know when they would be attacked in the celestial realm. At least, the existence of the Heavenly Desolation City would be ineffective. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Tran Hung left the Twilight Tea House and asked Night Sorrow to inform him as soon as possible if something happened. Night Sorrow might not feel anything, but the City Lord and the others were anxious. If the Demon-Winged clan really occupied Reincarnation Island and set up the transmission formation, then they would be in big trouble. On the way back to the Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow was also thinking about this problem. However, he felt that at present, the only thing he could do was to remind them and cultivate hard. If one wanted to have an influence, then one must have a status and the right to speak in the 100 Clans Alliance. To have the right to speak, one must have strength. Of course, Night Sorrow did not care about the right to speak, nor did he think about it. If he wanted the right to speak, he would not refuse the title of Human Emperor. In the Heavenly Desolation City, Tran Hung held a meeting of the elders of the 100 clans and informed King Yowu. When everyone was present, the City Lord said that Reincarnation Island was a danger to the celestial realm. If I didn't see Night Sorrow, I wouldn't have thought of the problem of Reincarnation Island. We must come up with a proper countermeasure. After talking about the crisis, the City Lord waved his hand, indicating that others could speak. Yi Shang thought of it? Lu Qi's true body asked. Chapter 1982. Lu Qi's original body went to Star Moon City to retrieve the Heavenly Dao Flower and gave it to Elder Spirit Tree. He requested Elder Spirit Tree to concoct the flesh-bone regenerating pill and then received a notification. Yes, if he didn't mention it, I wouldn't have thought of it, and neither would you. We thought that the situation on Samsara Island was bad, So we thought that there was no problem. We didn't think that some bad situations could be overcome, said the Lord of Heavenly Wasteland City. The solution to this matter is nothing more than prevention. We have to prevent Samsara Island from becoming a stronghold and base for the demon-winged clan, said Qin Qianjia. Samsara Island means different things to us. It's of little value to us and meaningless to occupy, but to the demon-winged clan, it's a fat piece of meat that can be used to fight against Heavenly Wasteland City, said King Yawu. So, whether the other side has thought of this or not, we have to defend the key point of the war, the Samsara battlefield, said the Lord of Heavenly Wasteland City. The elders of the 100 races finally decided that King Yawu's doppelganger would lead the elders of the 100 races and the soldiers of the First Army to Samsara Island and station there. By the way, everyone knows about the God-slaying squad of Star Moon City, right? They have an average lifespan of more than 800 years, but the lowest level is King, Emperor, and Emperor. The members include the Golden Dragon Clan, the Green Rock Clan, the Nine-Tailed Fox Clan, and so on. I plan to train them with all my strength. What do you think? Said the Grand Elder. The God-slaying squad is very famous now. I've done some research. They are a squad under Night Sorrow and have grown up with Night Sorrow. Their individual battle strength aside, the key point is that their ability to cooperate in battle is extremely strong. I don't know how many battles they have fought in the past, but it's a miracle that no one has died, said a Tiger Clan elder. The development trend of the First Army of the Heaven Wasteland Army is actually the model of the God-slaying squad. The First Army is stronger than the God-slaying squad because the soldiers are all Emperor, but in terms of maturity and cooperation, they can't be compared to the First Army. So, I want to train this squad. Let's vote now. After the Grand Elder talked about the advantages of the God-slaying squad, he asked the elders of the 100 races for their opinion. There were no objections and all of them passed. This was because everyone felt that the God-slaying squad was worth nurturing. After passing the resolution, Lu Qi directly suggested that they bring the God-slaying squad to Samsara Island for training. It was safer for now. After all, King Yawu had brought a group of elders and the First Army with him. This is a good idea. However, we need to ask for Night Sorrow's opinion first. If he does not say anything, it is hard to say whether the God-slaying team will go or not. Coercive orders are ineffective against Star Moon City. We need to respect his opinion, the Grand Elder said. All the elders of the 100 races nodded. Everyone knew about Night Sorrow's situation. He was an uncrowned king, an uncrowned human emperor. Even the Origin Sector venerables of the Celestial Realm had to give him face, let alone others. The Grand Elder brought Elder Spiritual Tree and Qin Qianjia to the ethereal Imperial City. After meeting with Night Sorrow, he asked for Night Sorrow's opinion. It is a good idea for the God-slaying squad to go out. It will be a good training for them. However, the problem is that there are still 2 months before Dragon Gold and Dragon Language. It is Tianyu and my sister's wedding. The timing is not too good. However, going out is a big deal. I will talk to them about it, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. There is no hurry. King Yawu will bring a group of elders and the First Army. They will be able to stabilize the situation. Our people are not going for construction. They are going to prevent others from using Samsara Island. I will send the God-slaying squad there later, the Grand Elder said. Oh, in that case, I will explain what I am doing and inform my parents. Then I will report to the First Army. Night Sorrow nodded. He was the First Army's captain. He had to report back when the First Army went out. No need. You, Long Jin, and Tianyu do not need to return to the First Army. You will bring the God-slaying squad there later, the Grand Elder said. He knew that if he did not say anything, Night Sorrow would definitely put down his work and go with the First Army. Night Sorrow's only sister's wedding day was coming soon. Thank you, Grand Elder. Night Sorrow understood that the Grand Elder was taking care of him. Then the Grand Elder said that the 100 tribes' elders had decided to train the God-slaying squad. Night Sorrow fell into deep thought. He did not care about himself, but he had to be careful about putting a responsibility on his brothers and sisters. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow raised his head. Grand Elder, I personally don't care what I do for the human race and the 100 Races Alliance. I don't say that I have no regrets, but I will definitely do what I have to do. But the God-slaying squad is different. If they accept the training of the Heavenly Wasteland City, they will only die for the 100 Races Alliance. Therefore, I have to respect their opinion. Actually, you still don't understand the Heavenly Wasteland City and the 100 Races Alliance. The 100 Races Alliance is voluntary. Any member of the 100 Races Alliance who feels that the 100 Races Alliance is not suitable can withdraw. As long as they do not betray the celestial realm, the 100 Races Alliance will not treat anyone as an enemy. Of course, when they are in the 100 Races Alliance, they have to obey the Elders Guild's orders. When they are in the Heavenly Wasteland Army, they have to obey military orders. This is the rule, the Grand Elder said earnestly. That's right. The 100 Races Alliance doesn't demand anything. Supporting the God-slaying team is also completely voluntary. This support isn't an excuse to ask the God-slaying team to do anything. You have to believe us, Elder Spirit Tree said. Grand Elder, Spiritual Tree Elder, Night Sorrow is very sorry. I shouldn't have thought so little of others. It's just that the brothers of the God-slaying squad are too important to me. They have no regrets following me into battle. I have to be responsible for them. Forgive Night Sorrow for speaking rudely. Night Sorrow said somewhat apologetically. He understood what it meant to be respected. The three in front of him were people of virtue and prestige. I understand you very well. This is what a qualified commander should do. It's also the reason why the soldiers under your command are so strong. It's because they trust you unconditionally. If it were me, I would also trust you. Qin Shinjia said. Night Sorrow understands. I will tell the God-slaying squad now, Night Sorrow said as he stood up. Go! The Grand Elder smiled and nodded. He was very pleased. This was because Night Sorrow was a person with a sense of responsibility. No matter what the situation is outside, he has his own persistence. This is rare. The first time I saw him, I felt that he would definitely have a bright future. I just didn't expect him to rise so quickly. He is already the human emperor of the 100 Races Alliance, the Spiritual Tree Elder said somewhat emotionally. Chapter 1983. Alright, that's a good idea. The City Lord already had some plans. Now we can slowly push them forward. The Grand Elder nodded. What plans does the City Lord have? Qin Shinjia asked. You all know that I, the City Lord, and King Yowu have already lived through 8 eras. We don't have much lifespan left, so we've been thinking about the successor. Before Night Sorrow appeared, we already had some plans. The Grand Elder didn't hide the original plan from the Spirit Tree Sect Elder and Qin Shinjia. Before Night Sorrow appeared, the Divine Capital only had one young City Lord, Fentian. However, he wasn't strong enough and needed a powerful Great Elder. There were 2 candidates, Pu Luo and Lu Qi. However, Pu Luo was too casual and wasn't suitable. Hence, Lu Qi was chosen. When Lu Qi arrived at the desolate city, the Disciplined Sect Elder needed a strong candidate. The successor of the Disciplined Sect Elder had to be stable and righteous. Hence, Lin Piaomiao was chosen. The successor of the Grand Elder was decided to be the Great Demon King. The Grand Elder didn't think it was suitable because the Great Demon King had a murderous nature. However, the City Lord of the desolate city made the decision. What did he say? In troubled times, severe punishments were used. He had to be tough. #permanent asterisk. Read novels for free. The City Lord of the Divine Capital, the Grand Elder, and the Disciplined Sect Elder all have their successors. What about the City Lord of the Desolate City? Why isn't there any arrangement? The Spirit Tree Sect Elder asked. The City Lord said that he had his own arrangements. Hence, he didn't decide on a candidate. Now that the human sovereign is born, he will have to shoulder the responsibility slowly. This commander is necessary. The Grand Elder made his decision. Night Sorrow gathered the God-slaying team and told them what the Grand Elder had told him. Captain, you can arrange it as you see fit. You don't have to tell us about such things. Long Jin said. The others nodded. I brought you guys out of the 9-domain world. You guys have achieved something and are qualified to decide your own path. Hence, there are some things that I still need you guys to decide. Night Sorrow said. Captain, before we met you, we were just ordinary warriors of the Eastern Shen region. Everything we have today was given to us by Captain. That's why we'll follow you until the world is stable and no one dares to go against us, Xueling said. Captain and I are brothers in life and death. Captain can make the decision. If we make the decision ourselves, we don't know when we'll end up in a ditch, Ho Jian said with a smile. All right, let me make some arrangements. Long Jin, Dragon Language, Tianyu, and Nianxiao's wedding will be held in 2 months' time. After their wedding, our god-slaying squad will fight again. Take a good rest during this period. Don't forget to prepare your gifts. I've already prepared mine, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Big brother, I've already applied to the family's council of elders to resign from the position of emperor. The next emperor will be chosen between Qin Yan and Yu Jun. What do you think? After they finished talking about the god-slaying squad, Yin Yan began to talk about family matters. Qin Yan and Yu Jun? I don't care about that, Night Sorrow said. Brother 13, is this a big matter? Tianyu asked. What's so big about it? Either Qin Yan or Yu Jun can manage the Night Moon Empire without a problem. Besides, with Captain around, even if the Night Moon doesn't have an emperor, they won't be able to overturn the heavens, said Long Jin. What? Captain Long, are you saying that I, the former emperor, am just a decoration? Yin Yan glanced at Long Jin with some dissatisfaction. That's not what I meant. Long Jin laughed and explained. That's how it is. As long as my big brother is around, the 9 regions world will be stable and the Night Moon Empire will be stable. Yin Yan pulled on Night Sorrow's arm. Luo will inform all our friends about their wedding. We'll accept gifts. This time, our Yi family will accept gifts. However, we'll use the gifts as dowry, Night Sorrow said to Datura. All right. This wedding will definitely be grand and glorious. Datura knew what Night Sorrow meant. Brother 13, will I be treated like this when I get married? Yimei asked. Of course. However, you'll have to consider getting married first, Night Sorrow said to Yimei. After making arrangements for the god-slaying squad, Night Sorrow invited the Grand Elder, Elder Lingshu, and Qin Qianjie to the Twilight Tea House for tea. The Twilight Tea House's tea ceremony and taste naturally received high praise from Elder Lingshu and Qin Qianjie. In the beginning, there were people who questioned the price of the Twilight Tea House and said that it was a bad influence on the celestial realm. What nonsense! This is a milestone for human civilization, Qin Qianjie said. Night Sorrow, your appearance is a cleansing of the bad cultivators in the celestial realm. Yukuan, Bai Chuyuan, and the others have all fallen. This is a good thing, the Grand Elder said. Night Sorrow only smiled. He had only dealt with those who were not pleasing to the eye. Since the first army was going to fight, Night Sorrow had to go back and inform them. Night Sorrow followed the Grand Elder, Qin Qianjie, and Elder Lingshu back to the Tianhuang city. Since it was late, Night Sorrow returned to his mansion first. He meditated in the mansion and studied the fusion of the life attribute and the death attribute. He cultivated for 2 days. 2 days later, Night Sorrow arrived at the encampment of the First Army. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, the people of the First Army quickly gathered. Greetings, Commander. The first group of people shouted as they knocked on their breastplates. What, Commander? Night Sorrow was confused. Commander, you don't know? Yesterday, the Council of Elders issued an order to promote the captain to a commander, Zhuodong said. Why should I be a commander? I just need to lead the First Army. I don't care about the other armies. I'll tell the Grand Elder about it later. Night Sorrow shook his head. He did not want to be a commander if he was too busy. It's not what you think. After the captain is promoted to a commander, he will only be in charge of the First Army and the God-slaying team, Long Jin's doppelganger in the First Army said. That's good. Long Jin, Tianyu, your doppelganger should go back to the ethereal imperial city first. You'll be the second batch to go to the battle. The wedding is more important, Night Sorrow said. Okay. Long Jin and Tianyu did not refuse because the wedding was a big deal. Brothers of the First Army, you may already know the mission. We'll set off for the Samsara Island soon. I won't go with you this time. I'll meet you later. Zhuodong, you discuss the details of the team with the other captains. I want everyone to be alive, Night Sorrow said to Zhuodong. Sir. Zhuodong and the other captains knocked on their breastplates. If there's an emergency, break my messaging crystal. Night Sorrow threw a soul messaging crystal to Zhuodong. If I break it, the captain won't be able to come to us, Zhuodong said with a smile. Chapter 1984. Commander arrived? Flower without words looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Yes, but if the situation is stable, wait for my doppelganger to arrive, Night Sorrow said to Zhuodong. Yes, Commander. Don't worry. Zhuodong nodded. He admired Night Sorrow very much because he saw the changes in the First Army after Night Sorrow's arrival. That's enough. Get ready. Yi Shan left the First Army and went straight to the teleportation array. Night Sorrow didn't think it was necessary to ask the Grand Elder about the First Army and the God-slaying team. It didn't matter who the commander or captain was. Long Jin and Tianyu didn't leave directly. They led the sergeants of the First Army to Shin-Du City and invited everyone to a feast before returning to the Ethereal Dynasty. After Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa, he went into seclusion in the attic. He planned to infer the attributes of life and death and combine them. In this way, he wouldn't have to worry about comprehending the general trend of heaven and earth. Night Sorrow deduced the time acceleration in the Haotian Godly Pagoda. 2 months was a short time in the real world, but 2 months was equivalent to more than 10 years in the real world. The wedding of Long Jin, Dragon Language, Tianyu and Yanxiao was arranged by Datura and Lin Piaomiao. The 3 world groups of the chaotic realm had been informed that the wedding of Night Sorrow's sister and brother was a big event. Night Sorrow didn't intend to keep a low profile when he asked Datura to inform them. He didn't care about his reputation, but he wanted to make the wedding of his sister and brother grand. After the news was spread, the leaders of the 3 world groups of the chaotic realm had all arrived. The VIP hotels in the Star Moon City were full of guests. Lin Piaomiao rented a few more inns in the Ethereal Empire. Only then was it enough. As for the Ethereal Empire's VIP tower, it was also full because many guests from the Heaven Realm had arrived. 5DYongF #LongTime FreeW looked small. No matter what guests came, they did not see Night Sorrow. No one despised Night Sorrow for being too arrogant. Those who understood him knew that he was a cultivation maniac. At this time, no one was worried that the Devil-Winged clan would come to cause trouble. Now that the Ethereal Imperial City and Star Moon City were filled with experts, whoever came to cause trouble at this time would definitely be looking for trouble. Because they had to receive guests, as the bride's parents, Yi Wuyo and Yu Qing had both come to Star Moon City to receive guests. They were both staying in Night Sorrow's mansion. After settling the guests, Lin Piaomiao and Datura returned to the mansion. This is really tiring. After sitting down, Datura stretched his neck. Thank you for your hard work for Yanxiao, Yu Qing said. Mother, Yanxiao is our only sister. Naturally, she has to marry grandly, Datura said. Marrying Night Sorrow is really hard on you. You only managed to stabilize for a short period of time, and now he's running off to cultivate. I really can't do anything about him. Yu Qing was somewhat helpless, but also felt some heartache for her son. Night Sorrow is working hard for the stability of the family. In this world where the strong are respected, strength is the only guarantee. Datura said. This path is very difficult. Unless one can reach the peak and laugh proudly in the world, it won't be easy to be stable. Lin Piaomiao said. Sister-in-law, I heard that my brother is at the peak of the middle-class emperor rank and can enter the peak emperor rank at any time. Then he can rest for a while, right? Yin Yanxiao asked. Peak emperor rank isn't the highest rank for cultivators. However, he probably doesn't need to go into seclusion so frequently. Lin Piaomiao shook her head. Luckily, Star Moon City was built quickly. Otherwise, we really wouldn't be able to receive guests. The second batch of VIP buildings can be used soon. This way, our Night Moon Empire's elders will have a place to rest. Also, Nian Xiao's grandfather's family hasn't responded yet. They won't not come, right? Are we lacking in manners? Datura changed the topic. When mentioning Night Sorrow's hardships, everyone felt heartache. Now it was a joyous day. They will come later. They already told me. Yu Qing smiled and said, in these years, the Night Moon Empire had risen, and North Yu City had developed well. There were still 3 days before the wedding. King Yao Wu and Great Elder came, and even brought gifts from the Empyrean Desolation City Lord. Piao Miao, where is Night Sorrow? King Yao Wu, who lived in the Night Moon Villa of the Ethereal Empire, didn't find Night Sorrow, so he asked Lin Piao Miao. He went into seclusion after returning from the Empyrean Desolation City. He hasn't come out since. I hope Martial Uncle and Grand Elder doesn't mind. Lin Piao Miao smiled and said, I don't mind. Let's not talk about this guy's original body cultivating. Even his doppelganger is working so hard. What is he researching? The Grand Elder didn't understand. He is planning to fuse the life and death attributes. With an additional attribute, he will have to put in more effort to improve the momentum of heaven and earth. Lin Piao Miao said, he is cultivating something more advanced. However, no matter how anxious he is, 2 months won't make a difference. The Grand Elder shook his head. Night Sorrow's time acceleration treasure is a heavenly artifact. It also has an artifact spirit. It can accelerate time by 50 times. He has been cultivating in the time acceleration for more than 10 years. There should be some effect. Lin Piao Miao explained for Night Sorrow. This guy is really good. You guys go ahead. Don't worry about us. The Grand Elder waved his hand. King Yao Wu also smiled. There are only 3 days left. If he doesn't come out, I wonder if he will have any effect. Destruction and space-time attributes. Night Sorrow's achievements are already very high. If he has the limitless attribute in his hands, his reincarnation attribute will easily have great achievements. The Grand Elder thought for a moment and said, not just the reincarnation attribute. He also has the void attribute. He can study the primal attribute. However, he was attacked by the Nirvana flame, so he grasped the reincarnation attribute first. The other direction might be more suitable for him. King Yao Wu corrected the Grand Elder's words. Seeing that the day had arrived, Lin Piao Miao arrived at the 9-domain world and shouted outside the Heaven Sealing Hall. Night Sorrow's 9-domain doppelganger in the Heaven Sealing Hall opened his eyes. He was either in deep seclusion or in deduction. Therefore, he was aware of the situation. Flashing out of the Heaven Sealing Hall, Night Sorrow smiled at Lin Piao Miao. It's almost time? The day after tomorrow. Martial Uncle, Grand Elder, Golden Dragon King, and Old Ancestor Green Rock have all appeared. It's not appropriate for you to not appear. Lin Piao Miao said, all right, the research is almost done. Next, it's time for my original body to fuse. This seclusion ended just in time. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and took a big gulp. You finished researching? Lin Piao Miao looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. The deduction results are fine. I'll know when my original body fuses later. You can go ahead and do your work. My doppelganger in the Night Moon Villa has come out. Night Sorrow said to Lin Piao Miao. Chapter 1985. After Night Sorrow's clone in Night Moon Mountain Villa came out of seclusion, he washed up, changed into a clean robe, and went to the guest room in Star Moon Mountain Villa. King Yao Wu, Grand Elder, Golden Dragon King, Green Rock Old Ancestor, and Chirue were all in Night Moon Mountain Villa's guest room. They didn't like to socialize, so the mountain villa was relatively quiet. Seniors, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come to Night Sorrow's little brother and sister's wedding. Please don't mind it, said Night Sorrow. King Yao Wu and Grand Elder nodded. Night Sorrow, Long Jin is the young master of our Golden Dragon clan, but the wedding was arranged by your family. This king is very grateful. If there's anything in the future, Just let Long Jean talk to me. The Golden Dragon King looked at Knight Sorrow and expressed his attitude. Lord Golden Dragon King, you're too polite. Long Jean and I are brothers. It's not a big deal to arrange his wedding, said Knight Sorrow. It's the same for me. Tianyu has been with you since he was young, and you took care of him. In less than 1,000 years, he has achieved so much. The Green Rock clan will remember this in our hearts. We will be eternal allies with the 9-domain world. Green Rock Old Ancestor also expressed his attitude. How should I address him? Knight Sorrow looked at King Yowu and asked. Just call him Old Rock. Old Rock's attainments in space and time are very deep. If you have time, ask him for advice. King Yowu said, I understand. Old Rock is too serious. I don't have any blood brothers, but Tianyu and Long Jean are no different from my blood brothers. I'm very happy to arrange their wedding. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands at Green Rock Old Ancestor. Knight Sorrow and Green Rock Old Ancestor didn't mention Guan Yu's Heaven's Cliff because it wasn't a big deal now. Then Knight Sorrow bowed to Chirui. You don't have to be so courteous with me. Lin Yu calls you big brother, so I'm considered your uncle. You have to come. Otherwise, when you go back, you won't be able to keep your beard and it will be pulled out. Chi Rui said with a smile. Everyone was chatting casually. No one was bickering or putting on airs. Knight Sorrow, you've been in seclusion all this time. How's the research on Wuji's attribute going? The Grand Elder brought up a topic he was more concerned about. My doppelganger has been deducing all this time. My main body has just begun to fuse with it. As for whether it will succeed or not, it's still unknown, Knight Sorrow said. Don't worry. If it doesn't work, we'll just find the reason and get rid of it, King Yowu said. I understand. Don't worry, Martial Uncle. Knight Sorrow nodded. The Shenluan clan is here as well. Don't take what happened last time to heart. Harmony is very important. To be honest, no one would dare to bully you now, said King Yowu. I understand. I'll pay them a visit later. Knight Sorrow knew what King Yowu meant. He hoped that he would be able to form more good karma. Just as they were talking, Knight Sorrow stood up and excused himself. Then he left the guest room and rushed towards the entrance of Night Moon Villa. His face was full of surprise. Because he saw Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei was wearing a white silk dress with golden hair accessories on her head. Aunt Fei. Knight Sorrow bowed when he saw Wu Lingfei. Knight Sorrow, what are you doing? Wu Lingfei reached out and helped Knight Sorrow up. Seniors, please come in. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands to the women behind Wu Lingfei. He knew that they were the experts of the Ice Phoenix clan. Thank you, Region Lord Knight. The experts of the Ice Phoenix clan cupped their hands to Knight Sorrow in return. Knight Sorrow brought them to the loft where he was resting. Aunt Fei, the guest rooms are full now. This is Knight Sorrow's usual resting place. Aunt Fei and the others, please don't mind. Knight Sorrow, why are you so distant from Aunt Fei? Wu Lingfei looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. No, it's just that Aunt Fei is the Empress of the Ice Phoenix clan now. I can't neglect her. Also, please forgive me. When Aunt Fei ascended the throne, Knight Sorrow was in the reincarnation battlefield. Knight Sorrow said. When Aunt Fei ascended the throne, the Humanitarian League and the Yi clan went. Aunt Fei was very happy. Later, when she heard that something happened to you, Aunt Fei was very sad. She returned to the 9 regions world once, but she didn't see you. Wu Lingfei turned her head and wiped the corners of her eyes. Aunt Fei, don't you think I'm fine now? Knight Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that when he was unconscious, the operation of the Emperor-grade teleportation array was limited. However, it didn't affect Wu Lingfei because he was familiar with her aura, even if her cultivation was higher than his at the time. Yes, I'm very good. The child with core condensation cultivation back then is now an emperor, and a human emperor at that. Wu Lingfei's words were a little emotional. Thank you for your guidance and care along the way, Auntie Fei. I'll write the gift for Auntie Fei. I originally planned to forge a long sword with human merit, but that Pu Luo directly forged it into a golden brick. Auntie Fei can just play with it. Thinking about the gift, Yi Shang felt embarrassed. Human Dao golden brick is very famous now. Aunt Fei wants to join the Humanitarian League. Is there a problem? Wu Lingfei said with a smile. If the Ice Phoenix clan has no problem, I naturally have no problem. The other elders of the Humanitarian League also welcome Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. Third elder, is there a problem with this seat joining the Humanitarian League? Wu Lingfei turned around and looked at one of the white-haired women who had been standing there. Lord Golden Phoenix, there is no problem with doing anything. As long as there is no threat to your safety, the elders will not ask. The Humanitarian League upholds the principle of punishing evil and promoting good. It is a force worthy of respect. The white-haired woman said. Then it's fine. Wu Lingfei nodded. After arranging for the elders of the Ice Phoenix clan to rest, Night Sorrow took Wu Lingfei to the Twilight Tea House. This time, Night Sorrow didn't sit in the Moon Pavilion. Instead, he chose the Snow Pavilion in the Wind, Flower, Snow, and Moon Pavilion. Permanent 6Z free, Feech CJ little underskiff. After the tea was brewed, Night Sorrow poured a cup for Wu Lingfei. Aunt Fei, I see that your relationship with the elders is not very good. Did you have a bad time in the Ice Phoenix clan? Night Sorrow asked. That year, something happened to you. I wanted to return to the 9 Regions world, but they didn't agree. I hate them. Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, they did it for your own good. I'm fine now, so don't mind them. Night Sorrow said. They shouldn't have forced their will on me. Mother only passed down the throne. I haven't seen her in all these years. Wu Lingfei explained her situation. At this time, in the Night Moon Villa, the women of the Ice Phoenix clan were chatting. Whether Lord Imperial Concubine's attitude can change depends on this trip. Back then, we were a bit reckless and didn't care about her feelings. Fortunately, Night Sorrow woke up. Otherwise, the problem would be very troublesome. The woman called Third Elder by Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 1986. That's right. If something really happened to Night Sorrow, the relationship between Imperial Concubine and our Elder Guild would be irreconcilable. Fortunately, the situation isn't too bad. The Third Elder heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the harmonious relationship between Wu Lingfei and Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei drank tea, they returned to the Night Moon Villa. Concubine Wu Lingfei brought several elders from the Council of Elders to visit King Yo Wu and the others. Yi Shang also went to visit the guests who had come to attend the wedding. King Yo Wu and the others were very polite when they saw Wu Lingfei. In the eyes of the world, the Ice Phoenix clan wasn't as famous as the Bloodscale clan or as domineering as the dragons. However, their strength was indeed shocking because there were many experts in the Ice Phoenix clan. After exchanging a few words, Wu Lingfei left after having a few elders accompany King Yo Wu and the others. She was going to Star Moon City, where there were people she cared about and people who cared about her. For example, the God-slaying squad was currently in Star Moon City. Firstly, the wedding would be held in Star Moon City. Secondly, the God-slaying squad would be in Star Moon City to maintain order. King Yo Wu, Grand Elder, please help me persuade Imperial Concubine. Because of Night Sorrow, Imperial Concubine is now dissatisfied with our Elder Guild, the Ice Phoenix clan's Third Elder said. Why do you say that, Elder Yu? The Grand Elder asked, puzzled. The Ice Phoenix clan's Third Elder's name was Huang Yu. When something happened to Night Sorrow, Imperial Concubine received the news and was about to leave the Ice Phoenix clan. At that time, it was a crucial period for her cultivation. The Elder Guild didn't agree and sent her to the clan to cultivate. After that, she didn't take the initiative to communicate with us and caused a rift between us. Huang Yu explained the cause of the matter. That's what you should do. She was born in the 9 Regions world and has a very good relationship with Night Sorrow. They are closer than family. Do you know that she was poisoned by the evil dragon flame and that Night Sorrow didn't put in a lot of effort? You should always consider the feelings of others. The Grand Elder glanced at Huang Yu. Although he was a little angry, the Grand Elder still agreed to Huang Yu's request. Jun Xuanji and Zhu Jiyun also returned to Star Moon City. Their relationship with Yin Yanxiao was very good. So they naturally had to attend Yin Yanxiao's wedding. Night Sorrow was very busy. There were too many guests. He had to meet those he knew and those he didn't know. At the border of Nirvana Ocean, Mo Tianji came out of seclusion in a canyon that was on the same line as Heaven Desolate City. Peak Emperor rank. After 700 years of recuperation and seclusion, Mo Tianji stepped into Peak Emperor rank. After coming out of seclusion, Mo Tianji went to see Long Zhe. Have the Black Dragon's spies in the human race found any news? Did you manage to infiltrate Star Moon City? They didn't infiltrate Star Moon City. The teleportation array to Star Moon City is heavily guarded. If they aren't familiar with it, they won't be able to teleport. However, the woman that Heavenly Concubine is looking for has appeared. She is currently in Star Moon City. Long Zhe said. Then we won't wait any longer. Organize the information and make preparations to attack Star Moon City. Mo Tianji clenched her fists tightly, producing cracking sounds. We can't. Many experts have gathered in Star Moon City. According to our spies, Divine Capital City's King Yawu, Heaven Desolate City's Grand Elder, Green Rock Old Ancestor, Golden Dragon King, and Blood Qilin King are all in Ethereal Empire's territory. Attacking them now is suicide. Long Zhe shook his head and said, currently, black dragons couldn't walk in front of others. However, black dragons still had some human subordinates. Therefore, they could still scout for information. Mo Tianji looked at Long Zhe, her eyes gleaming. But what are those old fellows doing in Ethereal Empire's territory? Night Sorrow's younger sister is holding a wedding in Star Moon City. Therefore, we can't make a move recently. Long Zhe said, then we pay close attention to that woman. She can't disappear from our sight. It's very important. We can't make any mistakes. Mo Tianji instructed. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Long Zhe nodded. We're still monitoring her closely. Are those stubborn old fellows willing to work for our Demon Wing clan now? Mo Tianji looked at the other side of the canyon. My father has tried to persuade them many times. Long Zhe said. Your father still doesn't want to kill them? Mo Tianji asked with a frown. There's no room for discussion. Lord Heavenly Concubine, it's best that you don't tell my father about this. Long Zhe nodded. Mo Tianji snorted coldly, but didn't continue the topic. She knew that because of certain matters, a portion of the Black Dragon race was willing to work for the Demon Wing race because of their bloodline. However, it was impossible for them to slaughter their own race and elders. Night Sorrow picked up his grandpa, grandma, and the others. While he was talking to his grandpa and uncle, he was actually listening to the bragging of the Yu family. At that moment, Pu Luo arrived. After excusing himself from his grandpa and grandma, Night Sorrow and Pu Luo went outside. Alliance Master, we caught a spy. He blew himself up before we could get anything out of him. This matter should be related to the Black Dragons. Pu Luo said. After lying dormant for so many years, it's probably time for them to make a move. There can't be only one spy. Mo Tianji can still bribe some spies over the years. The Black Dragons have been in the Celestial Realm for countless years. It's normal for them to have some subordinate forces of other clans. If they want to get information, they can do it. Night Sorrow said. Then what do we need to do now? Pu Luo asked. We can't stop them from infiltrating the Ethereal Dynasty. However, Star Moon City can. After all, the teleportation formation to Star Moon City can't be used by people of unknown origins. They can only approach from the outside. The defensive formation is also real. Therefore, the Ethereal Dynasty is still the main defense. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said, the experts of our forces are already hiding in the Ethereal Dynasty. If they dare to fight, then they can forget about returning. Pu Luo nodded. He had only come to inform Night Sorrow. As for the deployment, they had already made the necessary arrangements. Pu Luo, thank you for your hard work. Drink a few more cups. Night Sorrow nodded to Pu Luo. Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa. He planned to ask the Grand Elder and the others if they had any information about the Black Dragon's subordinate forces. If they did, he planned to make a move against Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons after Yin Yanxiao and the others' wedding. Because his main body and avatar had both gone to the reincarnation battlefield, he wouldn't be able to rest assured if he wasn't in Star Moon City for a period of time. After arriving at the Night Moon Villa's VIP building, Night Sorrow discovered that King Yenwu and the others were talking with Wu Lingfei. The Ice Phoenix clan's elders weren't present. Night Sorrow, take a seat. The Grand Elder pointed to a seat for Night Sorrow. King Yenwu nodded to Wu Lingfei. This seat is acquainted with your parents. Our relationship isn't bad. Therefore, I'll say a few more words today. Look at how others treat you. The main thing is the starting point. If the starting point isn't bad, then some things can be forgiven. Chapter 1987. It's nothing, just some small friction, Wu Lingfei said. Lie to me? That Elder Qin of the Ice Phoenix clan promised me when he came last time. He said that he wouldn't let you suffer any grievances. What is this now? Night Sorrow stood up and walked towards the loft where he used to live. Night Sorrow, sit down first and listen to me. The Grand Elder stood up and stopped Night Sorrow. Then the Grand Elder told him about the conflict between Wu Lingfei and the Elders Guild. Night Sorrow, they just want the Ice Phoenix clan leader to achieve more quickly. They don't have any ill intentions, Chirui said. Night Sorrow understands. I can endure it this time, but I have something to tell them. Breaking a promise once is enough, but don't blame me for being hostile next time. Night Sorrow got up and went to the loft where he was resting. Several elders of the Ice Phoenix clan were there. Region Lord Knight, King Yewu and the Grand Elder are here. Seeing them, the Ice Phoenix clan's third elder Huang Yu and the other elders cupped their hands. Night Sorrow didn't return the greeting. This time, the Ice Phoenix clan came because my Yi family is going to hold a wedding. I, Night Sorrow, will accept your kind intentions. But when Elder Qin of your Ice Phoenix clan came to pick her up, he promised me that he wouldn't let my Aunt Fei suffer any grievances. In the end, you restricted her freedom? Locked her in the ancestral land? I think Region Lord Knight has misunderstood. Huang Yu's expression changed. We all know whether it's a misunderstanding or not. You don't have to explain it to me. A promise should be valued by a righteous cultivator. This time, I will not pursue it for the sake of the seniors and my Aunt Fei's feelings. If such a thing happens again with me, Night Sorrow, here, things won't end well. Your Ice Phoenix clan has a long history and is powerful, but you can also try to see if I, Night Sorrow, can fight to the end. He waved his hand and smashed a table, then turned and left. Elder Huang Yu, don't make things difficult for us. You're already lacking in this matter. Remember, promises are not meant to be broken. Qi Rui, who was originally very amiable, also changed his attitude. King Yewu and the Grand Elder did not leave. The two of them sat down. Lord King Yewu, you see? Domain Lord Ye's attitude is a little too domineering, an Ice Phoenix clan elder said. He's a bit domineering. Perhaps. However, I, as your martial uncle, support your domineering attitude. Originally, I had a few words to say, but it seems like I won't be able to speak with you. I will speak after meeting your old patriarch and the heavenly astral king. King Yewu, who had been sitting down, shook his head and stood up to leave. This made Huang Yu and the others' expressions turn ugly because this meant that the true experts who had come were all on Night Sorrow's side. Look at the main F version of the chapter, Top K. 8. The Ice Phoenix clan belonged to the matriarchal Divine Beast clan. Generally, a woman would be the Ice Phoenix clan's empress, and her husband would be the Ice Phoenix clan's king. The previous Ice Phoenix clan's empress was Wu Lingfei's mother, who was titled Spirit Empress. Her father was the Ice Phoenix clan's expert, the Heavenly Astral King. Currently, Wu Lingfei's title was Empress. Night Sorrow knew your new empress when he was in the core condensation stage. Along the way, they were closer than family. Therefore, in terms of concept, you have underestimated Night Sorrow's importance to this relationship. Night Sorrow is the Alliance Master of the Humanitarian League, the Human Emperor of the Human Clan, and the Human Emperor of the 100 Races Alliance. Therefore, no one will say that Night Sorrow is in the wrong in this conflict. How to resolve the conflict is up to you. If things get ugly, it won't be good for anyone. The main thing is that you will lose your trust and righteousness. The Grand Elder left 2 words of advice and left. Huang Yu was dumbfounded. She didn't think it was a big deal, but now that things had gotten out of hand, it was hard to say how it would end. Third Elder, how should we deal with this matter? An elder asked. I can't deal with this matter. We have to wait for the Grand Elder to return from the stellar sky space. Originally, I thought that after we decided to lock Empress Fei in the ancestral land, we would apologize to Empress Fei. It seems that things aren't that simple, Huang Yu said. The Ice Phoenix clan's matter wasn't so complicated. It was Wu Lingfei's mother who had been in seclusion and hadn't come out. The order to bring Wu Lingfei back was given by a soul incarnation. After bringing Wu Lingfei back, the Grand Elder, Huang Qin, went to the stellar sky space where the stellar sky king was. Because there were restrictions on entering and exiting the stellar sky space, Huang Yu hadn't returned yet. The Ice Phoenix clan's matters were decided by the Elder Council. Wu Lingfei wanted to go to the 9 regions world, but the Elder Council didn't agree and locked her in the ancestral land to cultivate. This matter has left a grudge in Empress Fei's heart, and it's very serious. She doesn't want to talk to us now, another elder said. Let's wait for the wedding to be over. After we return to the clan, we will discuss how to solve this problem. Huang Yu sighed. She thought that this matter would be resolved after talking to King Wu, the Grand Elder, and the others. Now, she understood that this matter was very serious. Wu Lingfei was originally easy to talk to. She was very amiable in the Ice Phoenix clan. However, the matter involving Night Sorrow made her explode. Since then, Wu Lingfei didn't communicate with others. Night Sorrow's attitude was even more radical. He didn't even hesitate to turn hostile. After leaving the loft where the Ice Phoenix clan's elders were resting, Night Sorrow was still angry. After arriving at the VIP building, Night Sorrow sat beside Wu Lingfei. Aunt Fei, you won't go back this time. If they want you to go back, then they will come and take you back. They didn't dare to do it last time, but they dare to do it this time? Okay, Aunt Fei will listen to you. Aunt Fei was born in the 9 regions world. The 9 regions world is Aunt Fei's home. You are Aunt Fei's relative. If they want to interfere, Aunt Fei won't give in, Wu Lingfei said. This matter needs to be resolved, but we can't be too radical, the Grand Elder reminded Night Sorrow. Senior Uncle, Grand Elder, this time, my avatar won't go to the reincarnation battlefield. When the God-slaying team arrives, my original body will stop cultivating and come out to lead the team, Night Sorrow stated his decision. The Ice Phoenix clan's matter isn't that complicated. The Heavenly Astral King and the previous clan leader are reasonable people. So, when they appear, the problem will be resolved. If your original body comes out, it will delay your cultivation progress, the Grand Elder said. It's not just the Ice Phoenix clan's matter. The Humanitarian League caught a spy. It should be Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons who are about to take action. At this time, my original body and combat avatar aren't in the Ethereal Dynasty and Star Moon City. Night Sorrow feels uneasy. Night Sorrow stated another reason for his decision. Caught a spy? Did you get any information? King Wu asked. There isn't much specific information. They self-destructed, but in their storage rings, we found a crystal ball with Guanyu Jun Xuanji's image. The person who cares about Jun Xuanji is Mo Tianji. Night Sorrow told King Wu and the others about the Humanitarian League's arrival. Chapter 1988. How about this? Your doppelganger and the God-slaying squad don't move first. Wait until you're done here before going over. You can go over by yourself anyway. Once you're done, you can go over with the God-slaying squad, King Wu said. That's fine too. I'll go over after they attack. Night Sorrow nodded. This arrangement was reasonable. The Black Dragons have 2 Black Dragon Kings and several elders. If Mo Tianji leads them to attack, you won't have enough people on your side. You have to be careful, the Grand Elder said. The Black Dragons are the dragons' problem. I have to take responsibility. I don't have anything else to do, so I'll stay here with you, Night Sorrow, the Golden Dragon King said. Senior Golden Dragon King, there are some things that you don't have to shoulder. The Black Dragon's problem involves their bloodline. It's not anyone's fault that they're in this situation, Night Sorrow said. He saw that the Golden Dragon King was a little dispirited and depressed. Perhaps you're right. As long as they dare to fight, this king can only kill them. The Golden Dragon King nodded at Night Sorrow. You're not enough by yourself. I'll accompany you. Chirue reached out and patted the Golden Dragon King's shoulder. X plus X plus X plus X. Old friend, this king won't be polite. Let's fight side by side. The Golden Dragon King nodded at Chirue. Then, without caring about the attitude of the Ice Phoenix Elders, Night Sorrow brought Wu Lingfei to Star Moon City. Wu Lingfei had a good relationship with the Yi family. Her arrival added a lot of joy to the Yi family. The Grand Elders sent people to mobilize the Heaven Wasteland Army and secretly set up camp in the ethereal Imperial City. Then, he appeased the elders of the Ice Phoenix race. He didn't want to give them face, but he still had to give them a way out. After one night, the wedding officially began. The host was the Grand Elder. It could be said that this wedding was of the highest standard in the celestial realm. The elders of the two newlyweds were in the same area. There was only an empty space between them. Night Sorrow held his two sisters' hands and handed them over to Long Jin and Tianyu. He didn't say anything and only patted their shoulders. The newlyweds bowed to heaven and earth, to their parents, to each other, and then to the offering of tea. To Night Sorrow's surprise, after the two couples offered tea to their respective elders, they solemnly brought their teacups to him. That's not appropriate. I can't afford it, Night Sorrow said. You are worthy of being the captain. With a brother like you, Long Jin feels at ease, Long Jin said. Brother, because of the dragon language, you were misunderstood and exiled to Heaven Wasteland. You suffered a lot, but you didn't explain and didn't complain at all. Your attitude towards the dragon language has always been the same, so brother must drink this cup of tea. The dragon language said seriously. Good. As long as you two are well, I will be happy. Remember, no matter what racial grudges you have, as long as there is love in your heart, you will be happy. Night Sorrow took the tea and drank it in one gulp. Brother Shursen, this tea for me and Yin Xiao. We don't need to say anything else, right? Tianyu took the teacup from Night Sorrow. After drinking the tea, the formal ceremony of the wedding came to an end. Then came the banquet. Night Sorrow couldn't be absent from the reception, because many people came for Night Sorrow. They all came because of Night Sorrow. For people like Kirin, the Golden Dragon King, and the people from the Humanitarian League, the others couldn't receive them. The banquet lasted for a long time, but Star Moon City was well prepared. Wine was constantly served. As long as it was drinkable, there would be wine. In the evening, the banquet finally ended. Night Sorrow sent the two couples to the bridal chamber in Ethereal Imperial City and brought the guests to stay in Ethereal Imperial City. Long Jin and Tianyu's wedding came to an end. King Yenwu and the others also had to leave. He told Night Sorrow to open the defensive formation of Night Moon Manor. This way, the Golden Dragon King and Blood Qilin King would be in Night Moon Manor. Even if the Devil-Winged race and the Black Dragons investigated, they wouldn't be able to find anything. As the guests were sent off, Star Moon City and Night Moon Manor slowly quieted down. Long Jin, Dragon Language, Tianyu, and Yin Yanxiao met up with the God-slaying squad and continued to cultivate in Star Moon City. After the guests left, the elders of the Ice Phoenix race felt uneasy. After the wedding, they didn't see Wu Lingfei, let alone her return to the Ice Phoenix race. Helpless, they found Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear arts. Region Lord Knight, this celebration is over. We can't stay here forever. We have to go back, but we haven't seen Lord Imperial Concubine in the past 2 days, Huang Yu said. It's like this. My Aunt Concubine hasn't come back for a long time. She's with my mother and my wife. She's been cultivating for the past few hundred years. She's very tired and needs to rest. Also, I'm very dissatisfied with some things. You all know this. I won't make things difficult for anyone, but whoever comes to take my Aunt Concubine away must have an explanation, Night Sorrow said as he put away the blood-Qilin evil punishing spear. This. Huang Yu was a bit dumbfounded. She understood the situation now. Night Sorrow didn't want to let her go back with them. It was impossible for them to take her away by force. You don't have to make things difficult. Lord Imperial Concubine and Lord Heavenly Astral King are about to come out of seclusion. It won't be a problem for any of them to come. If they're dissatisfied, you can push it to me, Night Sorrow said. Elder Huang Yu, let's do as Night Sorrow said. The matter will be resolved peacefully, Qilin said. Alright. Lord Imperial Concubine is here. I'll have to trouble Region Lord Knight. Huang Yu knew that they couldn't take Wuling Concubine away. After the people of the Ice Phoenix clan left, Yishan cultivated every day. Half a month passed. On this day, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear arts, suddenly stopped. Then, his face was full of smiles. After the two doppelgangers deduced the theory of the fusion of the life and death attributes for more than 10 years, his main body had also succeeded in the fusion. The successful fusion of the life and death attributes meant that Night Sorrow only had 4 attributes left. After fusing 2, he didn't have to be too distracted when cultivating. It could be said that his future cultivation path would be much easier. His actual combat strength would also increase by a lot. What made you so happy? The Golden Dragon King and blood-Qilin King saw Night Sorrow's excited state and walked out of their resting loft. Lord Golden Dragon King, I've made a small achievement in the fusion of attributes, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Fusion of attributes? Show it to me. This king wants to see it. The Golden Dragon King was very interested. Nodding, Night Sorrow casually threw out a punch. When this punch was thrown out, the wind from the punch changed between green and yellow. That was the effect of the limitless attribute. Chapter 1989. A high-level combination of opposing attributes. Very good. Very impressive. You've already successfully fused time and space. Now that you've fused life and death, you've taken another huge step on the heaven-defying path of cultivation, the Golden Dragon King said to Yishan. Night Sorrow, you have the reincarnation attribute. This is not a secret to some people. The reincarnation attribute is very complicated. It is said to be destruction, time, space, life, and death. Simply put, it is destruction, time, and infinity. Even more simply, reincarnation is reincarnation. Do you understand what that means? blood-Qilin King said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow froze for a moment, but then he understood what blood-Qilin King meant. All attributes had to be combined. If the taboo attribute was separated, it would be 5 attributes. If it was combined, it would be 1 attribute. It is very difficult to cultivate a taboo attribute. First, you must have a pure supreme attribute as a foundation. That excludes too many people. In the last reincarnation of the celestial realm, there was only 1 human king. This reincarnation also has 1 human king. It is destiny and order. You are from the 9-zone world, so you have broken this rule. Take it slow. You can do it, the Golden Dragon King said. Both of you are esteemed seniors. I have some questions that I would like to ask, Yishan said as he looked at the Golden Dragon King and the blood-Qilin King. Qilin King owes you a favor. You and my nephew are brothers. We will not be stingy with what we can tell you. The Golden Dragon King smiled. After cultivating the reincarnation attribute, can you cultivate the beginning attribute? Will the 2 taboo attributes clash? Night Sorrow asked the question that had been bothering him. We have never touched the taboo attribute. Normally, there should not be a clash. Life and death are opposites. Didn't you cultivate them and combine them? But this is just speculation. No one has ever cultivated them, so we cannot be sure. If you want to cultivate them, you have to be careful. The Golden Dragon King said. Thank you, I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. For your path, others can only give you some suggestions. As for guidance, no one can give you any pointers. Chure patted Night Sorrow's shoulder. Night Sorrow was walking a path that no one had ever walked before. There was nothing to learn from, and no one had any experience in this area. After talking to the two of them, Night Sorrow began to study the newbie's infinity attribute. After Night Sorrow fused the death and life attributes, his control over the worldly momentum was at 30%. The worldly momentum of the death attribute decreased while the worldly momentum of the life attribute increased. This was the result of the fusion. While Night Sorrow was studying Wuji's attributes, the Humanitarian League's people were still setting up defenses. Even if they discovered the spies, they just stared at them and did not make a move. Mo Tianji kept receiving information from the subordinate forces of the Black Dragons. In addition, Mo Tianji also counted the members of the Black Dragons who could participate in the battle. Currently, the Black Dragons had 3 Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators, 4 Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators, and a few more Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators. There were more King-level Black Dragons. Originally, the Black Dragons were stronger, but some elders were unwilling to become enemies with the 100 races of the Celestial Realm, let alone work for the Demon-Winged race. They would rather die than be willing. Long Zhe, get ready. We will attack and take down the 9 domain worlds in one go. This way, both the Black Dragons and I will have a safe place. When the Demon-Winged race of Tianhuang invades, we will work together to overthrow the Celestial Realm. Mo Tianji said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation T on section are okay, but remember what you promised us. After this is over, you have to give us the Black Dragons. Long Zhe said. Mo Tianji nodded. There were some things she did not say to Long Zhe. In terms of experience, a few Long Zhes were not as good as her. After some analysis, she realized that the 9 domain worlds might be the new sovereign worlds of the Celestial Realm after the origin of the Celestial Realm fell. This made Mo Tianji pay more attention to the attack on Xingyue City. Once they invaded and took over the 9 domain worlds, the 100 races of the Celestial Realm would be in a passive position. By the time the 100 races of the Celestial Realm reacted, it would be too late. Long Zhe left Mo Tianji's side and went deep into the canyon. He wanted to talk to his father about the situation. Long Zhe's father, Long Tianyuan, was the previous leader of the Black Dragons. However, he was injured during the attack on Tianhuang City. In order to recover, he gave the position to Long Zhe. Seeing Long Zhe arrive, Long Tianyuan set up a barrier. Long Zhe, what do you want to say? This Mo Tianji will fall out with us sooner or later. You have to be careful. Long Tianyuan said. She is using us. She will never truly accept us. Long Zhe knows this. We have already betrayed the 100 races of the Celestial Realm. Now, we only hope that grandmother and mother can come back safely. Also, are the 2 black dragon eggs still there? Long Zhe said in a low voice. Long Tianyuan did not say anything. He was helpless about some things. At the beginning of this reincarnation, due to the impact of the previous reincarnation war, a portion of the demon-winged race remained in the Celestial Realm. Half of them went to the Black Dragons. They obtained the 2 dragon eggs from the previous reincarnation's Black Dragon King and used them to threaten the Black Dragon King. Back then, the Black Dragon King could only compromise for the continuation of his ancestors' bloodline. The result of compromise was intermarriage. Long Tianyuan's mother and wife were both women of the demon-winged race. Long Zhe had more of the demon-winged race's bloodline because his grandmother and mother were both from the demon-winged race. Now, these 2 women of the demon-winged race were not with the Black Dragons. They had been hidden by the demon-winged race. Not only Long Tianyuan and Long Zhe, but there were also many Black Dragons and demon-winged race who had intermarried. We are despicable. Only this king's father had the courage to self-destruct for the sake of the Black Dragon King's descendant in the previous reincarnation. However, we don't have the courage to do so. We have been working for the demon-winged race, causing the Celestial Realm to no longer accept us. Does she think that we don't know if Mo Tianji doesn't say anything? The 9 domains world is the new supreme world. She wants it, but so do we. As long as we fight our way in, we will fall out with her and kill her. Then, The demon-winged race and the 100 races of the celestial realm will have nothing to do with us. Long Tianyuan said. Long Zhe nodded. He once thought that if he worked for the demon-winged race seriously, they would treat him as one of their own. However, Mo Tianji had never been courteous to him. She had completely treated the black dragons as tools. This made him very angry. Remember, protect those elders first. Although those elders are stubborn, it is not the time to kill them. They are good fighters. We need them. Once we take down the 9 domains world, we will kill them when they are of no value. Long Zhe, remember this. We are not the black dragons or the demon-winged race. They all deserve to die. Long Tianyuan's face was filled with killing intent. Mo Tianji and Long Zhe's deployment was still in progress. They were infiltrating the Misty Dynasty through spatial treasures. Chapter 1990. Mo Tianji and Long Zhe had discussed that there were 2 ways to attack Star Moon City. The first was to attack Star Moon City directly. The second was to take down the Night Moon Manor first. There were many drawbacks to attacking Star Moon City directly. Star Moon City was surrounded by Star Moon Lake. It was unrealistic to attack silently. In a frontal attack, Star Moon City had a city protecting array. Lu Qi was also guarding the city. It was impossible to attack instantly. If they couldn't take down the city quickly, reinforcements would arrive through the teleportation array. If they wanted to cut off the reinforcements of Star Moon City, they would have to take down the Night Moon Manor in the ethereal Imperial City. In addition, they could use the Night Moon Manor's teleportation array to reach the core of Star Moon City. If they broke the teleportation array, Star Moon City would be isolated. After analyzing the pros and cons, Mo Tianji and Long Zhe decided to attack the Night Moon Manor directly. Through the spatial treasure brought by the Black Dragon spies, Mo Tianji and the Black Dragon's troops arrived at the ethereal Imperial City. All the Black Dragon's members who could fight had already joined the battle. Long Zhe even set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array in the Nirvana Ocean's Grand Canyon. He also set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array stronghold in a secret location outside the ethereal Imperial City. Long Zhe was very clear that if they succeeded in this war, Star Moon City would be completely sealed off by the Heaven Realm's 100 races. It would be impossible for them to come out openly. Hence, it was necessary to set up an Emperor-ranked teleportation array. When everyone gathered in the ethereal Imperial City, Mo Tianji, who had concealed her aura and set up a barrier, met with Long Zhe in an inn. Of course, Long Tianyuan was also present. Elder Tianyuan, do you have any battle plans? Mo Tianji looked at Long Tianyuan and asked. She was very polite when speaking to Long Tianyuan because Long Tianyuan was a true expert. He was the strongest expert in this battle. First, cut off their reinforcements. Let Long Ya attack the teleportation array of the ethereal Imperial City. This way, their Emperor-grade teleportation array will be ineffective. The troops of Desolate Heaven City and Divine Capital City won't have enough time to arrive. Long Tianyuan said, "All right, break the teleportation formation. Then, we will attack Star Moon City with all our might." Clan leader Longze, is our backup teleportation formation ready? If they destroy Star Moon City's teleportation array, we will need to get close to Star Moon City immediately, Mo Tianji said. It's been arranged. Long Zhe nodded. He had already made some arrangements for the battle. We'll attack tonight. Night Moon Mountain Villa's defensive formation. We need to break it as soon as possible. After saying that, Mo Tianji went to rest to prepare for tonight's battle. Mo Tianji's heart, which hadn't been moved for many years, was now greatly moved. This battle was too important to the Devil Wing clan and to her. The 9-domain world was the future supreme world. It had a lifespan of 1,000 reincarnations. Whoever could rule the 9-domain world would be able to control the future. In addition, Mo Tianji would be able to return to her peak state after obtaining the true body. At that time, she would have the chance to reach the supreme realm of cultivation after fusing with Jun Xuanji. She, Mo Tianji, was publicly recognized as a cultivator with endless potential in the Devil Wing clan. Her body had already cultivated Tao rhythm. After changing her clothes, Emotianji sat cross-legged with her palms together. She prayed to the Devil Wing clan's ancestor in her heart. At this time, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear art, froze. This was because he felt the fluctuation of one of his soul imprints. $= when Night Sorrow walked towards the VIP building, the Golden Dragon Bay and Blood Qilin King also came to find Night Sorrow. "Seniors, the other party is here," Night Sorrow said. "It's not surprising that we know." "How did you know?" Qilin looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. "I left 2 soul imprints on her body. She destroyed one of them. There's still 1 imprint left. Seniors, you can sense her. How can she not sense you? It's easy to ruin things like that." Night Sorrow said worriedly. "Why did your martial uncle ask you to activate the defensive array?" "Because this array, which uses the ice dragon skeleton as the core, has an ice sealing effect. It can freeze some senses and auras. The aura within the array cannot be sensed from the outside, but we can sense it from the outside." The Golden Dragon King looked at the ice dragon skeleton and said, "Senior Golden Dragon King, we had no choice but to use the ice dragon skeleton to set up the array. My uncle Shelia said that as long as we don't destroy the skeleton, it's not blasphemy. It can also let more people know about the existence of ice dragons." Night Sorrow explained to the Golden Dragon King, "I understand. I also know what kind of person you are. I've talked with Shelia before. When this matter comes to an end, the ice dragons should return to the celestial realm to develop. The dragons also need to be reorganized." The Golden Dragon King said. Night Sorrow nodded. Then the 3 of them discussed for a while. Then, the 3 of them called for the main personnel in the Night Moon Villa to make arrangements. The war was about to break out. "Night Sorrow, what's your plan? Make the arrangements now." The Golden Dragon King said to Night Sorrow, "Sister Xin Air, your doppelganger will guard the teleportation formation in the ethereal Imperial City. You can't let it be destroyed. If you can't guard it, you can take the Emperor-level teleportation crystal. You can't let it fall into the enemy's hands or be damaged." Night Sorrow said to Lin Piaomiao. "Okay, no problem." Lin Piaomiao nodded. "Pu Luo, you're the law enforcement elder of the Council of Elders. You can mobilize the Heaven Wasteland Army. Send your doppelganger to the Heaven Wasteland Army's encampment. Stay in the villa. When the battle starts, send your doppelganger to lead the 2 divisions of the Heaven Wasteland Army and quickly seal off the area. This time, kill all those who don't surrender their weapons." Night Sorrow said to Pu Luo, "Don't worry, it will be done." Pu Luo nodded. "Luo, send your doppelganger to inform the Star Moon City. Tell all unrelated personnel to retreat and station there. If they attack from 2 directions, you and the 7 elders must protect the teleportation formation, including the backup teleportation formation." Night Sorrow said to Datura Datura. Datura Datura nodded. At this moment, Elder Lan of the Ethereal Imperial Court arrived at the Night Moon Villa. Lin Piaomiao had sent someone here alone to avoid alerting the spies. Elder Lan informed the Ethereal Imperial Court's army to set up an encirclement outside the Ethereal Imperial City. After the war starts, no one can escape. Night Sorrow said to Elder Lan, "Night Sorrow, what about the outside of the Star Moon City? If their main forces are there, they will be caught if they want to escape." Chirue said, "Some of the Humanitarian League's armies are already stationed there." Night Sorrow said, "I've heard that you're good at commanding battles. Looks like you live up to your reputation. Your plan is flawless." Chirue said with a smile. Night Sorrow shook his head. "Senior, I'll give you a mission this time. Mo Tianji can't be allowed to live. Her existence is a great threat to the celestial realm." "Okay, I'll take her down." Chirue nodded. Chapter 1991. Senior Golden Dragon King. After this calamity, there will be a new generation. The Black Dragons still have the dragon language. Perhaps there will be some members of the Black Dragons who are unwilling to wallow in the mire. If the Black Dragon's fate is not exhausted, There will still be a world for them in the future, Night Sorrow said. Since the virtuous emperor has said so, then the black dragons may have a chance to live. However, this king is going to start a massacre today. A golden longsword appeared in the golden dragon king's hand. Old friend, why are you holding this? Isn't this a taboo? Chirue's expression changed when he saw the golden longsword in the golden dragon king's hand. The longsword in the golden dragon king's hand was very famous. It had existed in the golden dragon clan several reincarnations ago. The name of the sword was Dragon Slaying Sword, and it was specially made by an evil cultivator for Golden Dragon Clan. That evil cultivator was killed by the Golden Dragon Clan, but no one could deny the power of the Dragon Slaying Sword. The Dragon Slaying Sword had always been sealed on Dragon Island. Today, the Golden Dragon King took out the Dragon Slaying Sword, which showed his determination. As the Dragon King of all dragons, he was going to be ruthless and clean up the clan. Taboo. If there is blood, then it is either the dragons who rebelled or this king. The black dragons caused you to lose your virtuous body. You don't want to say anything, but this king can't turn a blind eye to it. Old friend, I am sorry. The Golden Dragon King looked at Chirue and said, "Why are you here again? We have been friends for so many years. Is there a need to be so pretentious over such a small matter?" Chirue patted the Golden Dragon King's shoulder. The Blood Qilin King Chirue and the Golden Dragon King Longbatian were best friends. The Blood Qilin was a virtuous and auspicious beast, and it was famous in the world. The Golden Dragon was the overlord of the divine beasts. Even though it didn't have any special heaven and earth luck, everyone knew that the Golden Dragon was naturally domineering, and it did things righteously. There was a saying that had been passed down for a long time: if one's body wasn't righteous, one wouldn't have golden scales. In other words, even if one was born in the Golden Dragon clan, if one had an evil heart, they would not grow golden scales. Let's fight side by side this time. The Golden Dragon King held the dragon-slaying sword in his right hand and patted Kirin's arm with his left. "Batin, how many eras has it been since the last time we fought together?" Chirue said with a smile. "Don't mention it. Didn't that old brat Mo Yutian escape in the end?" The Golden Dragon King chuckled. "It can't be helped. That old man is really strong." Chirue said with a smile. The three greatest heavens of the demon-winged clan were peerless experts. In the celestial realm, only the lord of the city of Tianhuang, King Yowu, and the Grand Elder could fight against them. Others, even the patriarchs of the divine beasts, would not be able to do so. This was something that the patriarchs of the divine beasts also agreed with. G update D Noir. The fastest tick Elon C? And Night Sorrow was thinking about some unstable factors in the war. From time to time, he would issue some orders for small details. Looking at Night Sorrow's arrangements, the Golden Dragon King, Night Sorrow, and Chirue all nodded. They felt that there was no need to add anything at all. They were only responsible for the battle. As for the arrangements and deployment, Night Sorrow had made the appropriate arrangements. "Senior Chirue, how is Ice Qilin now?" After issuing the orders regarding the deployment, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. "Very good. He has entered the pool of holy light to modify his bloodline. Because his soul is the Blood Qilin soul, there are no drawbacks in the modification of his bloodline. However, he should only be able to fully recover after entering the Emperor realm. Night Sorrow, you have made up for my regret. This time, we will kill Mo Tianji first to avenge my son," Chirue said. Both sides were ready and waiting for the battle to begin. Mo Tianji planned to attack in the second half of the night. Although there was no difference between day and night for cultivators, most of them would be in a meditative state in the second half of the night. This would catch them off guard. Night Sorrow and the others waited in the Night Moon Villa for Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons to attack. Night Sorrow practiced his spear art. Chirue and Longbatian would sometimes give different opinions. This was very helpful to Night Sorrow. Chirue and the Golden Dragon King's understanding of battle was incomparable to ordinary people. The moon was setting in the west. Mo Tianji waved her hand and opened the barrier of the inn. "Long Zhe, bring your men out. The battle has begun." After speaking, Emotianji flew towards the Night Moon Villa. As she flew, her white hair fluttered in the air and whipped towards the defensive array of the Night Moon Villa. Long Zhe and Long Tianyuan also attacked. They appeared in their original bodies and charged towards the Night Moon Villa. They wanted to break through the defense of the Night Moon Villa and then take over the teleportation array. Suddenly, the great defensive array of the Night Moon Villa was shut down. Next, a claw covered in black scales appeared to grab Emotianji's 30,000 zhang long white hair. Then, the claw coiled around it before pulling it towards the ground. Fallen Sky Scale Claw. It was Chirui. He blocked the attack of Emotianji's white hair and controlled it. While Long Tianyuan and Long Zhe were in a daze, another attack came from the Night Moon Villa. A golden sword chi slashed towards Long Tianyuan. It was the Golden Dragon King. Lin Piaomiao started to attack Long Zhe. Long Zhe was a Tribulation 4 Emperor's cultivator. He was 2 tribulations higher than Lin Piaomiao. However, Lin Piaomiao was not afraid. She was still angry from the battle at the Blood Kirin Mountain. Dragon-slaying sword. Long Batin, are you crazy? A huge dragon claw fell from the sky. It was Long Tianyuan's. The Golden Dragon King's domineering sword cut off Long Tianyuan's claw. He didn't understand the situation and tried to block the sword chi. It's not that I'm crazy, it's you guys who are crazy. Since you don't want to live a good life, then all of you can die today. Golden Dragon King Long Batian swung his dragon-slaying sword at Long Tianyuan. Black dragons, retreat. They have an ambush. Long Tianyuan knew he had fallen into a trap. He wasn't as strong as the Golden Dragon King. Plus, the Golden Dragon King had the dragon-slaying sword, which was specially used to deal with dragons. Emotianji and Chirui were also being beaten up. Chirui's left arm turned into a left front claw and wrapped around Emotianji's white hair. Then he used his right fist aura and flames to attack Emotianji. Emotianji could only defend. Emotianji had an absolute advantage against Emperor rank cultivators. She wasn't even afraid of Emperor rank cultivators. She could crush them. However, she couldn't compare to Chirui. Chirui's cultivation realm was lower than hers, but his energy far exceeded hers. Chirui attacked Emotianji crazily. Night Sorrow didn't attack. He stood in front of the teleportation array and watched the battle. In just a few rounds, the Black Dragon's old chief Long Tianyuan was heavily injured by the Golden Dragon King. With the natural bloodline suppression and the Golden Dragon King's dragon-slaying sword, Long Tianyuan was far from being a match. A pair of black wings appeared on the heavily injured Long Tianyuan's back. He flapped his wings and wanted to escape. The opponent he didn't want to face the most was the Golden Dragon King. Demon-winged race bloodline. Then die. Dragon soars the 9 heavens. The Golden Dragon King's body flashed and he flew into the sky. Golden dragon images filled the sky. Then, a golden energy dragon claw pressed Long Tianyuan to the ground. Dragon slaying. Chapter 1992. After chopping off Long Tianyuan's head, the Golden Dragon King's dragon-slaying sword vibrated again and chopped off Long Tianyuan's head, not giving his soul power a chance to escape. Everything happened too quickly. Long Tianyuan didn't even have time to release his doppelganger, so both his original body and the doppelganger in his divine sea were killed. Long Zhe's doppelganger blocked Lin Piaomiao. His main body had already started running. At this moment he was scared out of his wits. The Golden Dragon King with the dragon-slaying sword was too scary. He had to run. If he continued fighting, he would die. Long Tianyuan died, Long Zhe ran away, and Emotianji was controlled by Chirui to attack. The other black dragons didn't have much fighting spirit. The Golden Dragon King didn't hold back at all. He used his dragon-slaying golden sword and killed all the black dragons who resisted. With this king here, don't even think about turning the tables. Put down your weapons now and kneel. Otherwise, this king will kill you all. The Golden Dragon King killed Long Zhe's doppelganger with sword chi. At this moment, the black dragons who didn't have much fighting spirit put down their weapons and knelt on the ground. They couldn't do anything under the attacks of the Golden Dragon King. Lin Piaomiao, Great Demon King, Yu Zhu, and the others. Pu Luo led the Heaven Wasteland army to surround this place. Pu Luo helped this king lock them all up. This king will take care of them in a bit. The Golden Dragon said to Pu Luo, Devil Wing clan dared to kill my son. Today you will die. His left claw grabbed Mo Tianji's white hair while his right hand turned into a large energy hand and slapped towards Mo Tianji. Chi Ru, this momentary advantage is nothing. I will be back. Devil flames sky burning, devil wings blood escape. Flames appeared on Mo Tianji's body. The white hair in Chirue's grasp started burning. Following that, the wings on her back glowed with a blood-red light. Her body floated backwards. She was planning to retreat. Her speed of retreat was much faster than when she fought Lu Qi. She was now a peak emperor rank. The energy and essence blood in her body were different from 700 years ago. So, seeing Mo Tianji run, the Golden Dragon King released a beam of sword energy. This sword chi was extremely fast. It pierced through Mo Tianji's back and cut down, shattering her dantian. Boom! Red flames appeared on Mo Tianji's body. At this moment, Chi Rui's energy hand slapped towards Mo Tianji. Before Chi Rui's energy hand fell, a red light appeared and rushed forward. Soul Extinguishing Slash. Night Sorrow used Soul Extinguishing Slash after discovering that the red light was a soul. The Soul Extinguishing Slash slashed through the air and struck the red light, destroying a part of it. All of you deserve to die. Night Sorrow, you must die. Following Mo Tianji's roar, the red light tore through space and disappeared. The red light disappeared, and Mo Tianji's heavily injured body fell to the ground. Her eyes were gray because she had no soul. That red light was Mo Tianji's soul body that had used the burning of her essence blood to escape. She got away in the end. Night Sorrow sighed. Don't worry. Her soul has been forced out of her body continuously. Her soul body is already heavily injured. You destroyed a third of her soul just now. She won't be able to achieve anything in the future. She won't be able to reach her previous heights, the Golden Dragon King said. This king knows you. You are the degenerate dragons, Long Yang. Where is Long Tianxue? Where is Long Tianxue? The Golden Dragon King came before a black dragon elder and placed the dragon-slaying sword on his neck. Elder Tianxue is in the canyon by the Nirvana seaside, Long Yang said. Long Yang said. He didn't dare to contradict the Golden Dragon King as he knew that the Golden Dragon King wouldn't show any mercy. Hide? Do you think you can just hide? You have to pay the price for going against the Celestial Realms 100 Races Alliance. The Golden Dragon King slapped Long Yang. Lord Golden Dragon King, Elder Tianxue and the others have been locked up for a long time. They lost their freedom a long time ago, Long Yang said. What happened? Tell me the details. The Golden Dragon King was stunned. They were locked up by the previous clan leader, Long Tianyuan. A few other elders were also locked up. This time, the black dragons moved and brought the cages to Silence Canyon, Long Yang said. Bring this king over. Chirui, take care of things here. I want to see Tianxue. I can't let Long Zhe get ahead of me. Night Sorrow, be careful, the Golden Dragon King said to Chirui and Night Sorrow as he lifted Long Yang, who was chained up by Pu Luo. Ruisi, follow the Golden Dragon King. That way, you can pass on the message, Night Sorrow said to Ruisi, who was also staying in the Night Moon Villa. The Golden Dragon King did not reject Night Sorrow's good intentions and left the Night Moon Villa with Ruisi. Alliance Master, Clan Leader Chirui, should we send these black dragons to Tianhuang City to be locked up? Pu Luo asked. Yes, send them to Tianhuang City to be locked up and wait for the Golden Dragon King to deal with them. Night Sorrow saw Qin Rui nod to indicate that he had no objections and accepted Pu Luo's suggestion. 9-inch Aluo, is there any movement in Star Moon City? Night Sorrow asked Datura Datura. Datura Datura's main body was in the Night Moon Villa while his clone was in Star Moon City. It's very quiet. There's no movement at all, Datura Datura nodded. Don't worry. Mo Tianji, Long Tianyuan, Long Zhe, and the others are all here. This is probably their target. They want to use this place as a springboard to take down Star Moon City. Since they hit a wall here, they won't do anything else. Their strength is only so much, Chirwei said. That should be it. The only regret is that Emo Tianji's soul escaped, Night Sorrow said. Ha! You can't blame me. When a cultivator reaches a certain level, their soul level will be high. It's very difficult to kill them. Your master's soul alone has controlled Emo Tianji for countless years. This is very telling, Chirwei said with a smile. Senior Chirwei, you misunderstand. Night Sorrow didn't mean that. I just don't know how to talk, Night Sorrow explained. I understand. A cultivator who has gone through the tribulation of the 7 kings has a very strong soul. It's very difficult to kill them. Your soul attack just now, if it was an ordinary soul, it would have killed it instantly. However, when it hit Emo Tianji's soul, it only destroyed a part of her soul power. Yes, she is very strong. This time, we forced her soul out of her body. For her, hundreds of years of recovery will be wasted. It will be very difficult for her to recover in the future. Some of our plans won't be able to be carried out. Besides, we've taken care of the black dragons. We've also taken care of a big problem, Night Sorrow said. The dragons have many members in their branches. The strongest ones are the green dragons and black dragons. You heard it just now. Some of the black dragons' elders were imprisoned. It's clear that there are different opinions. If the Golden Dragon King goes and releases the elders who are unwilling to support the Demon Wing clan, then the problem will be solved, Chirwei said. I hope the Golden Dragon King and Lin Yun can reach the Great Valley of Silence before Long Zhe. Then the problem will be solved. Night Sorrow nodded. Long Tianyuan has been killed. Long Zhe is now a frightened bird. He will probably hide. How dare he return to the Great Valley of Silence? Give him 8 guts. Chirwei snorted coldly. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.